We are back again for the 7th session of Rhapsody, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign set in a post-apocalyptic version of Earth. If you're watching with us live or you want to check out everything from the YouTube, you can head on over to our Discord and look at all of the information, hang out with the players. If you're live, you can do that same exact thing by hitting !D&D in the chat. That'll give you our Discord information. You can see the living document and every bit of information that the players have access to, plus join in on the RP, ask some questions, learn some stuff, maybe get some ideas for your own campaigns. As always, we are brought to you in part by inkedgaming.com. Head on over to Inked Gaming, get your play mats, your gaming bags, your battle maps, anything and everything your heart could desire. Use code TRS12 at checkout for 12% off your final purchase. Also, talked about those YouTube videos. You can always find us on the Team Rankstar YouTube channel. We'll also have a page on teamrankstar.com. As soon as I stop being lazy, head on over to teamrankstar.com or YouTube/teamrankstar and check out that stuff today. The Rhapsody playlist is there. You can catch up on everything and share it with your friends. It is a blast. If you enjoy the music at the beginning, during the middle, or at the end of the stream, you can get your own from taketones.com. Max Tunes provides our music. It's fantastic stuff. So epic. So amazing. Finally, also, we want to thank Wizards of the Coast for all the beautiful Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition material that we use every week. And, of course, Roll20.net. That's where we play from across the country, live and in person on Twitch every week. Thanks to Roll20, we're able to get together. They can see what I'm trying to put together. I can see what they're rolling and not cheating. Everybody wins. Speaking of everybody who's winning in the game right now, it's all my beautiful players. Allie, Dylan, Emily, Graham, Jeff, and Tim. Shannon, our producer, is also back, so you'll have a much smoother Twitch experience. Allie, how are you doing?
I don't even know, man. We are closing on property on Monday, and I'm in the middle of renovating an RV, and we just bought another RV to live in while we maybe fix up a really old house, and I'm really happy for the break.
Sounds like you need it. Shit.
Yeah. How is your back?
My back is
sprain.
Is a lot better than it was. It's still not super happy with me, but yeah, fortunately I have my dad here right now and my husband, and then we've got friends from another D&D game coming over tomorrow to help. So
That's good.
That is super positive. Well, hopefully everything continues to move on the up and up. Alex, on the other hand, is doing even better, though may find themselves in a little bit of a pickle that Professor November and Darian could potentially try and talk you out of. We'll see what happens this week as well. Speaking of Darian, Tim, not able to play with us last week. Luckily, put yourself in a great position. Got to enjoy it from the third-person perspective. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome back to the fold.
I'm doing good after that 12-hour outage of internet. Everything's been running okay all week. It got better by Wednesday. And then just starting to tear about my house as the weather's warming up.
Oh, so we have 3 people destroying or building houses at minimum. That's hilarious. Well, I'm glad you got your internet back. Glad the weather is warming up in the frozen north. That is all fantastic. And of course, the best part about it is you're back here playing with us. So welcome back. Dylan, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing pretty good. Nothing really changed from last week. I'm not having a bad time. Pound is currently going out for Smash Bros, so I'll be watching that all weekend.
Oh man, huge fan of the any of the fighting tournaments. Really, the Smash Brothers stuff I was not into at all until you and Jeff started talking about it a bunch. So make sure to link that stream in the Discord so I can catch that when it's going on.
Sure.
Jeff, speaking of the most boring player in our game, how are you doing, buddy?
Just being boring, man. It's a tough job. Someone's got to do it.
Does somebody have to do it, though?
Yeah, it's really hard to be more boring than you guys are, but, I work hard at it. I'm
You
dedicated.
manage.
Especially Dylan.
Especially Dylan. Oh man, well, yeah, definitely good to have you. Well, I don't know if it's good to have you back, but at least you're here. If nothing else, good, bad, or otherwise. Emily, how about you? How's everything going with you?
I'm doing all right. I'm not tearing my house apart, but I am cleaning it, so that helps. Doing some spring cleaning. Other than that, it's been all is quiet on this part of the Massachusetts front.
That's awesome. Sometimes, at least from my experience, cleaning is more destructive than renovation. So be careful out there, but continue doing awesome stuff. Graham, I think, is actually the last person to talk this time. I bounced around in a much more ridiculous manner and stopped right there. Graham, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm doing just fine. Peachy keen, I would say.
Would you say that? What makes it peachy keen? Do you have good weather? Is the house stuff coming along well for you?
Loan stuff situated. Fighting an architect. That's something else. Besides those things, I'm just gearing up. My wife has very specific dietary restrictions, so
Sure.
we're making Easter Sunday dinner tomorrow, and then also going on Easter and making food for other people, and then reheating her food that we already made the day before. So, double duty. But other than that,
Hey, we do what we got to do, my friend. So
do what you got to do.
Exactly. Well, it is great as always. Just as I told everybody else, it is great as always to have you here, and I mean that more sincerely than you can ever imagine. So we can, I think, go ahead and get started. The little bit of recap from last week, just for anybody who is joining us for the first time live, or playing catch up and maybe took a break between session 6 and this session 7. Last week, Minerva and Professor November talked about Remy, the K-lists, and the weapons cache. Minerva was not there for the interaction with Remy or the guards afterwards, and found out a little bit more about what happened, but the professor may have been hiding some stuff when these two talked. We cut over to the doctor, who got pretty lucky, found himself a sulfur gas grenade at Jim Davies' general store, something that a scavenger brought in, so he snatched that up as quick as he could. November found a heart inside his jar of lard that he'd been carrying around for 2 days, and he headed over immediately to see the doctor, because this heart was not just a regular heart, it was a still beating but black as night heart. Alex separated themselves off, did a couple of fights, won some money, and then signed up for an evening fight against Grub. Luckily not a fight to the death, but still a potentially dangerous predicament, and we'll find out how that gets resolved. Hannah caught up with Minerva, got the full story that included some of the pieces that the professor had left out, including the mind reading. So Minerva was caught up a bunch more. And then when November finally arrived at the doctor's, they came to a little bit of a secret accord over the heart and how these two would interact moving forward. So it'll be interesting to see how they are able to keep that up amongst all of the other ridiculousness that has gone on. I also did some RP during the week that you can find on our Discord. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description down below. If you are watching live, !D&D will get you access to the Discord. It is a lot of fun, and you get to see some of the role play live, and then you also get some of these little catch-ups that we do in private messages. Alex and November went and found Darian at his house. They spoke some, and we'll pick up with them in just a minute, kind of where we left off. And Minerva and Hannah got back together for dinner, had some soup and some discussion about how dangerous this trek could actually be, and what their future interactions with the professor could entail. A lot of fun stuff. Again, that's all in the Rhapsody RP channel on our Discord. But let's finish up with all this garbage of introductions and catch up and get to the game itself. Let's go ahead and actually start with Alex, Professor November, and Darian at Darian's place, kind of as the dinner hour rolls around and as the garden is closing the main gate, and we're moving into kind of the night phase, which is when the washways thrive. So if you guys and gals want to take it away, it's the three of you still at Darian's place, kind of outside his hovel, just hanging out and talking about what next steps may be.
Shit, I'm hungry.
I am amazed at where you find the space to fit it all in there, Alex.
What, you don't get hungry?
Oh, I get hungry, but I get full, and yet you just keep packing it in.
Yeah, after last time, Alex, I'm not buying whatever you're going to be eating because I pretty much lost everything we made last time offering to buy you a meal.
Well, thanks for that, bud.
Your laugh both terrifies and unsettles me.
Yes. When are you fighting Grub?
Tonight.
But what time?
I don't know, whatever time I get over there, I guess.
Right. We can't be late for that. We should probably go there now.
Yeah, alright, let's get going. Maybe we can get something to eat on the way home. On the way there.
If we pass a trash can.
Yeah. Alex is gonna take the back way again and look in trash cans.
Sounds good. Go ahead and give me that ever-famous investigation check.
I'm going to look for Mouse and Grub.
So the couple of trash cans that you check are all pretty barren. There's been some new people kind of discovering that the different trash piles are good scrounging ground if they don't have food of their own. The closest thing that you find to food is some charred bones. They're probably large rat or small animal bones of some kind. But yeah, no meat, no beans, no anything like that, unfortunately.
He's really sad. He kind of mopes his way the rest of the way to the fight ring.
Professor, do you know where Mouse and Grub might be? And I'm kind of whispering to Professor as Alex is moping in front of us.
I mean, any bar, anything between us and the fights, really. They're sometimes they hang out in staircases. You know, they're always looking for loose change. Sometimes Grub acts kind of like a troll under a bridge.
Should we maybe go to the ring, see if they're there, and then maybe tell Alex we're going to go get them something to eat?
Yes.
Oh, for real, guys?
Yes.
Oh, you guys are the best.
I'm going to roll a deception check just for my own peace of mind. Yes, I'm going to go get you food.
Thanks, buddy. You're the best.
So while you three are meandering towards a couple of the drinking holes in the washways and over towards the cage, we'll cut over to Hannah and Minerva, I think, are just splitting ways. They finished their dinner and conversation. Hannah, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be back at my shop. I'm going to attempt to pull apart that stainless steel door for pieces and forge them into some kind of weapon, essentially. I'm preparing to do that for the rest of the night.
Sounds good. Let's go with Minerva. Now that Hannah has left, it is it's getting a little dark down in the garden. You know, getting a little later in the evening. What are you up to round out your night?
I am packing for the morrow. I'm planning on bringing some food to supplement what people are taking, because I'm sure that Alex is not going to be bringing very much. I want to make sure that everyone remains well fed on this excursion we're going on. And I'm going to see if I have anything that I can make into like a makeshift sleeping bag of some kind, some blankets or cloth of any kind.
Sure, makes a lot of sense. So just prepping and packaging up. See, we got Alex and Darian and Hannah, Minerva, the professor. So the doctor is the only person left to wrap up before we get back around to Alex, Darian, and the professor. So doctor, give me the news.
Gonna go check out Jim Davies to see if he's got my shit.
That's right, old Jim Davies. Pull up Jim's sheet here. Boop, boop, boop. That's not what I wanted. All right. Jim Davies' shop is... So the gates have come down. Jim Davies' shop is quite bustling. A lot of people with goods in arms that they look like they are offloading or selling. A couple of people that are waiting and like watching to buy essentially right after Jim gets stuff cataloged. So there's this it's almost like a cattle call. There's like two groups. There's a group that has a bunch of stuff that they're selling to Jim, and then there's a group of people that are like, "Ooh, whoa, hey, I want that right there." You know, somebody puts like a stop sign on the counter, and you know somebody else calls it. Somebody throws up rations or even some good like thin rocks and stuff like that, and people are just clamoring for essentially everything that gets dropped on the counter. Jim is trying to keep the order, but he almost seems to thrive off of the chaos. He's making money and then spending money back and forth, but he's obviously having a blast, treating it kind of like an auction. But it's just packed to the gills currently. There's probably 40, 50 people in the store.
He'll walk right up to the counter.
So the doctor kind of nudges his way through. A couple people will give him sideways glances. Others are maybe a little intimidated by the garb and the way that the doctor carries himself. But you move up to the front, and Jim sees you, and there's kind of this silence that ripples through the group in the store, only for half a second, but it is enough where it is noticeable. And you and Jim kind of lock eyes, and he gives a little head nod. Well, doctor. And he looks at a non-existent watch on his arm. Punctual as usual. Let me guess, you're here to see if your stuff came in, partner.
Yes, that would be the only reason I'm here, as we spoke of earlier.
Oh, come on now. The only reason you don't love it here, you don't love everything that I've got, you don't love me, doctor?
No, this is the one thing I do by myself because I can't trust a messenger to. I prefer to be in my lab.
Well, obviously very sad. Hey, you put that down over there. Anyway, sorry, Doc. We can make this very quick. Did get some of your oak sap. Shot it out to a couple of my boys. They went down to some of the smaller parks, found some oak trees, even were able to get them tapped. This weather's just the damnedest thing. Makes it relatively easy, actually. So we got that taken care of. Let's see here. Oh, got myself, and he pulls out this like very ornate glass bottle. Has a top, even has some foil and stuff on it. One of the ladies had quite a sharp eye. Picked this thing up. I bought it immediately. Had your name right on it. He kind of sloshes it around. You see the inside. The liquid inside is actually clear. It almost looked like there was nothing in the bottle. But he shakes it and he turns it around. And you can see the label, and it is, excuse me, it is this very fancy, like grain alcohol label. But underneath it says 110 proof on the bottom in bright gold lettering. So let's see, oak sap, and he, pulls a couple vials out, and you can see this like thick goo in it. Puts the bottle down next to it as well. I can't remember if there was anything else. I don't have anything here. Wrote down oak sap, got water, but scratch that off. You said something about mushrooms or something before, but
Red caps.
Yeah,
Specific mushroom. They need to be specific mushroom.
I don't deal much in food, and nobody was able to even tell me what. I couldn't even describe what I was looking for, let alone have somebody bring it back, unfortunately, so don't have anything like that. And we talked about the grenade earlier. I don't have anything else here. Is there anything else you were looking for before we conduct a little business? As he rubs his hands together.
Moonstones.
Oh, that's right. Moonstones, them jewelries you were looking for. Moonstone. He's pulls out a like a steel box that is chained to the desk, and he's flipping through. You see little glints of different little glints of different colors and gemstones. Go ahead and give me a perception check at advantage, since you're right there and it's essentially like the focal point. Let's see what you do notice.
Gonna have to give me a sec. I'm launching.
Oh, that's all right, my friend.
Nope.
Yeah, you're more frustrated than focused. Well, actually, we said advantage since the focal point, so it's a 19,
right.
not the 4. Yep. So that was almost terrible, getting screwed out of some extra information. So you are frustrated, but shiny stuff tends to grab your attention from time to time, especially considering what you can do with some of that shiny stuff. So he's digging through his this box, and he's pulling out different things, and you catch a glimpse of, let's see, go ahead and roll three d10s for me. All right, so first thing you catch a little glimpse of is a pearl necklace, and it is a bunch of like very small pearls, but what would be the middle or the pendant of the necklace is this large, almost the size of a quarter pearl. It is pretty nice. Maybe not necessarily anything that you can do with it, but it is something that he has got. The second thing that you notice is a ruby, about the size of like a standard D20, oddly enough, but it is cut, very beautiful, even, clear cuts. It is just like fire red all the way through. Very nice piece, for sure. And the last thing that you see is something that Jim actually tries to conceal a little bit when he's moving things around. It is a ring. The band is not very assuming, a bright like white gold, maybe platinum, but no other stones on it. But the main stone set in the setting that elevates it up is a diamond, and it is a very rough cut, kind of natural looking diamond. The thing must be, must be like 8 or 9 carats. It's if this was not after the apocalypse, this would have been an impressive rock for sure. But even now, there is a lot of application. Diamonds pretty popular, especially from everything from like construction groups to some of the other people who have manifested these new abilities as like a focal point. So you see those things. He flips through. Give him a 60% chance. Go ahead and roll me a D100. This one's actually to see if there was a moonstone dropped off. You want anything higher than a 30. So 31 to 100 on a D100 would be great for you. So he's flipping through, and he stops. He looks up, little smile on his face, and then he pulls out this ovoid stone. Very like milky white with little shots of pink and blue running through it. Now, I ain't a jeweler. I ain't anything special, but from what I understand, this here not only is a moonstone, but it is a prime example of a moonstone. Damn near perfect from what I've been told and everything like that. And just look at it, baby. It's beautiful. This what you're looking for? And he holds it out kind of in front of you.
Yes, that would be a moonstone.
Now, moonstone, couple of vials of this here sap and alcohol. Are we interested in all of this still? Did you find anything? Don't tell me you went somewhere else and found any of this.
Well, let's see. Checking my notes, I do need some more alcohol. Mostly interested in the sap. I need 3 portions of that. Need 2 portions of moonstone, so there's that I need. I think I cleaned you out on the tungsten, though. Sap would be priority.
Sap is priority, huh? Well, if we're just talking sap, then we got these. I don't even check to see how many he got. Let's find out. Give me a D5 plus 1. So I think I was very vague and said a couple vials the whole time, and I have a question mark on my notes to how many were gotten. So let's let the dice decide. D5 plus 1, 4 vials, 4 full vials of oak sap. So he just lays those out first. We're just talking about the sap here. Let's see, we want 4 vials. A lot of risk involved in getting hands on these. We can do the whole thing for, let's say, all 4 for 1,000. How about that?
No, I cannot do that. That's way too much money.
Well, I can do 2 for 600.
No, that's still too much.
Doc, you got to work with me here. How much money do you have? What do you have to trade? Give me something, man.
Well, you've pretty much cleaned me out on the stuff that I have to trade. All I have is this pill bottle. It's empty, but it's intact. And the rest would be cash. $409.
409. We can do the bottle of alcohol. You can celebrate a little bit, maybe work up some courage to go on any more of them their missions or whatever it is the garden sends them folks on. And we can do 1 of the oak saps for 400 total.
How about you take what I have? You can keep the alcohol. I will take 3 of the saps. And I won't mention that diamond that you have in there that I'm sure everyone will go into a frenzy if they know you have.
Whoa. Let's go ahead and get a, what is that? Persuasion or intimidation? Your call on how you're presenting that. A little bit of both in there.
Rip.
Rip the dream, indeed. Well, it's all right. See if he's smart enough to counter at least. How about that? Ooh, just barely. All right. So you persuade a little bit, threaten just a touch. So he closes up the metal box pretty quick when you say that, and he kind of looks around, and people are more like frustrated that he's not acknowledging them rather than paying attention to what's going on here. He leans down. Doctor, have I ever been anything but good to you, man? You don't understand. Even at the prices I'm quoting you, I'm taking essentially a loss. These guys would be killing me if they knew that I was costing their lives at these ridiculously low numbers. Now, you can try and have my shop torn apart from the inside out, but man, I can't give it to you. And threatening me is just a way to make me forget to write down the next set of things that you're looking for, brother.
Well, then perhaps we help each other out.
He leans back a little bit, speaking with a little more confidence again. And how exactly would we do that?
Well, I'll be going out into the field tomorrow. Is there something you'd like me to catch my eye on? The group I'm with can get to places that no other people that you're dealing with can.
We talking about anything?
Anything you'd like me to keep an eye out for?
And you're not talking about an advance or anything, right? Like, I'll hold some of this for you until you bring me back what I'm looking for?
No, you see, the 3 oak sap I need to complete something that'll help me get what you need.
Ooh. Man, that's a... Give me a persuasion again. It's a relative risk. Not something that many shopkeepers do. You and Jim have a pretty decent relationship, though. So, another persuasion, looking for a 10. Just right down the middle. Oh, so close. All right, I can cut back a little bit on it. I'm not going to just have it be a straight fail. This is flex. I like it. All right. Doctor. There's got to be some kind of collateral, maybe. Something that guarantees me that you're going to come back. I've had plenty of people say they're going to bring me the newest and the greatest, and then you find out that they died falling out of a tree or something out there, man. Just give me something, and we can make this happen.
All right, I didn't want to have to do this. And he will take out his ounce of gold. And a lump of coal. I don't really want to part with these. But if we're willing to make a deal, then how about 3 sap and the alcohol for this gold, the lump of coal, $409, and this pill bottle. And I promise you that when I come back, whatever I find, you get first dibs.
I think I might be willing to do that. First dibs, you say? That's good. Can I give you one thing to keep a special eye out for?
Of course.
He leans in real close again. Now, doctor, you got your experiments, whatever it is that you do. A lot of specialized things that you're always looking for. I got plenty of people that have special tools of their own, but stuff's getting harder and harder to find. So, looking for bullets, man. There's anything you can find. I used to have a guy that, well, girl that made them, but she's just hadn't shown up in a while. But you find me, man, just 6 rounds. Just 6 rounds. Actioned firearm rounds. And we'll make this happen, man. I can guarantee you. You bring back other stuff, that's great. We'll figure out how to use that as well. But 6 bullets. 6 bullets is all it'll take. And you and me will be right as rain, brother.
I can take this stuff now, then?
You can take this now, leave your collateral behind. We'll match up. I'll keep it all safe. Won't sell a bit of it. And then we'll work everything out when you get back. You got my word.
Thanks, Jim. And he'll take the stuff and leave the rest.
It gives you the tip of the hat since he knows you're not a handshaker very often. And,
he's already walking out the door.
Yeah, he kind of gives a, all right, who's next? Hey, you, what did I say? Get your fucking hands off that. And just back to the crowd, so the doctor exits a bit. All right, so the doctor has exited. Are you headed back straight to your place? You going anywhere else?
Back to the lab again.
Back to the lab. So hands on 3 oak sap and a bottle of 110 proof grain alcohol. And you're short now gold, coal, and dollar bills. All right. Let's cut back over to Hannah. You said you're just cleaning up and stuff. Did I hear that correctly?
No, I'm working on the stainless steel door. Getting my getting everything ready to work on the stainless steel door and forge it into weapons as much as I can before we leave in the morning.
Oh, the freezer door. Yeah, the stainless steel insulate core door. Yeah. Give me. You have which profession skills are you trained in?
Tinkers, carpenters, glassblowers, and smiths.
All right, let's do some smith's tools. You're kind of trying to strip the metal off of the door to find out exactly how much you've got. Trying to keep everything together. So let's go ahead and make this. It's a pretty easy process. We'll do DC. Well, go
just
ahead.
as heads up, I had planned on letting her or having her use a combination of control flames and mending to weaken the metal of the door so that she can rip pieces off more specifically. And if she messes up, mending it back so that, as she goes, she's not accidentally ripping things off in a way that she didn't want to.
Sure, that makes sense. I'll take that into account. Edit my DCs here. Good thought process. Let's make the DC just a 12. We're do a little mini challenge here for how much raw stainless steel you can get hands on in large usable chunks. So go ahead and give me 5 of those. DC 12 is what we're looking for. Actually, let's make it 14 at advantage instead.
Is it strength as the attribute?
For this, it will be your choice of intelligence or dexterity. You can choose.
Intelligence. So how many?
5 rolls. 5 rolls at advantage. We're looking for 14. So 1 pass. 2 pass. 3 pass. Right on the cusp. 4 pass. 5 pass. Beautiful. All right. So you are able to get all of the plating of the door off nearly flawlessly. It takes a fair amount of work to get done, but you will have... We'll say you got 100 pounds of raw stainless steel sheeting here. So, from the front and back of the door, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you have about 100 pounds of stainless steel plating or sheeting that you will be able to work with. This takes, this takes like 2 hours to get done. So we'll bounce away, and then we can figure out exactly what we're doing with it over the course of the night or before you leave tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right. Let me take that note, and we'll cut back over to Alex, Darian, and Professor November headed into the deeper parts of the washways to find Mouse, it sounded like.
I'm looking for grub. I don't really want to talk to Mouse.
Okay.
No. Oftentimes, grub and mouse are found together, but I'm hoping that I find my best friend, grub.
Go ahead and give me some investigation. Give me 2 investigation checks.
Natural 20.
Well, hot diggity damn. Go ahead and give me the second one as well. It's a combination.
Natural 1.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
All right. So, you see, while you all are tooling around, you see Grub is actually, he's like sitting on the ground outside one of these like little, it's not really a shop because it's not in the bazaar, but a gathering place where deals may or may not go down. It is it's like this, it's just this small shack, and he's outside, and he is like seated on the ground, legs kind of splayed out, and he's got some grease stains and stuff on his shirt, but he is indulging, eating quite heartily what looks like a large cooked bird of some kind.
Huh. What kind of feathers are on the bird?
Oh, this thing is like beautifully cleaned and cooked. It's like it looks like a large rotisserie chicken from Costco. There's no feathers or anything on it. It's this like beautiful, crisp, greasy bird.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Damn, that looks good.
That does look good. We should go say hi.
He's your friend, so you lead the way, Professor.
Grub! I just start yelling at him from across the way. Grub! And I'm walking towards him with my arms wide open, like I'm so happy to see him.
Grub looks up and he smiles. A bunch of the like meat falls out of his mouth. He wipes his hand across his face, and he opens his mouth like he's about to say something, but you hear a voice that is not his. Professor, Professor, Professor! And out from behind Grub comes a very small, brown, like sackcloth-clad man. He's made this like what's probably a twill bag or something that you would carry like onions or potatoes or something in. He's made this into like a hooded cloak. It's been dyed multiple times, trying to make it like as dark as possible. And he's got his hands kind of crossed in front of him, the sleeves covering his arms and everything. But you can see his face underneath is this gray, this gray kind of almost featureless face, very much like a child, but this is definitely Mouse. You've had a couple of run-ins in the past with him.
I drop my hands. I'm like utterly dejected. Oh, it's you. Great. Just who I wanted to see.
I thought this was the guy that you didn't want to see. You said that if there was another guy with Grub, you wouldn't want to see him, like because you didn't like that guy, because you guys were both trying to be Grub's friend.
Yes.
That's not your Darian.
Some things you don't repeat. And you might have a big mouth. And I'm going to give him like a slight like elbow, but it's not much force behind it.
Like half the stuff you say, I don't know what's supposed to be repeated and what's not supposed to be repeated. Like, the earth is flat, the earth is round, that guy's small, that guy's big, don't talk to that guy, talk to this guy. I'm sorry, I don't know what to repeat and whatnot.
Well, never repeat that I think that the earth is flat, because that's utterly ridiculous. The earth is hollow. And then he starts walking away from you towards Mouse. Mouse, 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 mouse. Mouse in a house. What are you doing here?
My fighter has a big match coming up, making sure he's eating well and taking side bets. I'm sure that's what you're here to do, to pay me to get paid, because Grub is going to win.
Yes, most likely Grub is going to win, but I would like to speak to Grub about the nature of his victory.
Well, Grub is sitting right here, and you know as well as I do that I am not leaving his side this close to a fight, so please, talk to Grub, talk to me. We are ready to hear your offer.
Well, first of all, it's rude to, be eating such a delectable chicken in front of me without even offering any grub. Come on.
Grub looks pretty dejected at this comment. He's very sad, but he looks to Mouse before he says anything. And Mouse gives him like a quick, head shake back and forth.
Grub needs every last bit of this. Energy, you see. Professor, you should know this better than anyone. Energy is key, and this has the most of what Grub needs. If he's going to pound whoever this Alex is into pulp, we need this to make sure it happens.
That's kind of why we're here, to talk about the level of pulp that Alex will become out of this fight.
Hey, you've never heard of me? You've heard of me, Grub, haven't you? I fucking fought you before.
Grub looks up again and then back over to Mouse, and Mouse almost like he gives that very like 1940s, 1950s like show the back of your hand kind of thing, and then another head shake.
It doesn't matter who Grub knows. It doesn't matter who Grub has fought before. What matters is this coming now. If you're Alex, then you just better be happy that this isn't to the death.
Yeah, you bet I'm happy.
So, Professor, not only do you try and talk to my fighter when I am not here, my partner, my friend,
And he kind of rubs Grub's back.
you try and do this when I'm not here, but you bring his competition right to him? If we are talking about rude or disrespectful, this is of the highest order.
No, don't try to put a wedge between me and Grub. You might be his friend, but I am Grub's best friend. Isn't that right, Grub? Who's your best friend, baby?
Grub looks at you, and at Mouse, and then down at the chicken, and then at Alex, and goes to open his mouth without even looking back at Mouse for permission. Mouse gives him like a pat on the back, but it's just a touch too hard.
What did I say? What did I say, Professor? Don't try and spin this. I'm not trying to spin this. You're trying to spin this. Grub is my fighter, my partner, my friend. And I want to know why you are here with him.
And he points like a very stout finger at Alex.
Well, you see... Why are we here, Darian? What are we... What? Tomorrow, we got a big day. Alex has got to come with us. We got to go outside of the garden. Yeah, and Alex, I can't have any broken legs, broken arms, broken ribs, broken faces, broken necks.
Neck. I need that.
Can't have any of that, because if that happens, then
I can't stand in front of him when shit happens.
Exactly.
Mouse has this like very deep, forceful frown on his face. A scowl. He's obviously trying to make this face, maybe to seem more intimidating, maybe just because it's how he thinks. But he definitely looks frustrated by this bit of information. So he's looks around, takes in what you said, thinks for a moment, and then he pulls out just a small like stick of wood. At first, it looks kind of unassuming, but then you see that it's carved like very intricately, very well. It has like metal filigree and stuff, and he just like taps a couple times on the side of his head, does some movements of his fingers. Give me 1 second. He tries to conceal a lot of this, but it's still kind of apparent to you lot, maybe not to anybody else outside this. He's using grub as kind of cover as well.
Is he casting some kind of magic spell?
He is.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So he moves the wand around a little bit, touches the side of his head, mutters a couple of things under his breath, some words that don't necessarily sound like actual words, and does some finger motions and touches, like the last motion is touching his fingers to his lips. And you hear in your head, Professor, nobody else hears this, you hear Mouse's voice, but it says, if you're asking us to take a dive, all you have to do is show us how much it's worth. And then you feel kind of this link to Mouse, like you could almost respond by thinking.
Well, a dive is one way, but certainly,
And this is me thinking back at him. A dive is one way. Do I have a limit to my thoughts here?
Yeah, you would know that there is a limit. There is a small window. You haven't cast this spell before or necessarily experienced it, but you can almost feel it naturally that there is just a small window. It is indeed sending.
a dive is one way, and we could come to an agreement. But I was thinking more of a knock the young lad unconscious only.
Wow, right at 25 words from my count. So that was all. Nobody else could hear that, obviously. We're just doing that for those watching or listening in the future. Mouse looks very understanding, but a little frustrated by this, and puts the stick away back up one of his sleeves, kind of rubs his hands together.
There are only 2 speeds. Our boy Grub here,
And he kind of rubs Grub's back again.
wouldn't understand the intricacies. It's either win or lose.
How about... I was thinking, possibly.
Can you think quieter?
He kind of looks over the shoulder at the people that are 10, 15 feet away at most.
Okay, I'm gonna come a little bit closer. What if Grub sits this one out and we have the boy Darian fight? The big one. There, take his place.
Can I hear this?
Probably.
Roll
I mean,
perception.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can find out. You roll stealth roll stealth, Professor, and Darian roll perception.
Oh, can I hear this?
You can roll perception as well. Darian does not actually hear it. He's not able to pick up everything in it. He hears maybe his name, and that's why he was trying to listen. Alex is way too focused on this beautiful bird in Grub's hands.
It's a really good bird.
My dear Professor, I will not sub Grub in or out with anybody. Come now. If we are going to do this, we are going to do this as men. Now, are we talking about a win or a loss? And how much is it worth it to you?
I'm going to look over my shoulder at Darian, and I'm going to look at my shoulder at Alex, and I'm going to look back, and I'm going to say, in this scenario, I don't want to just make a number. In my history with these gentlemen, to take a dive, have I ever seen one of these deals? Am I familiar with the type of figure that, cash-wise, that would be thrown around for something like this?
Sure, you spent enough time with Grubb in the past. You've been pushing this best friend narrative, so I'm sure he would have been stupid and let stuff slip before. And this is something that Mouse and Grubb have done many times. They put on a convincing show when they need to. Go ahead and roll me. This is essentially a luck roll to see if Grubb has done this in the past. Would you like to roll high or low?
High, always.
High, always. So same as what I had Jeff roll earlier. D100, you're looking for anything better than a 30, and you would have a little bit more insight into how much this has cost other competitors against Grubb. Very good. So remember that you were told, Alex did tell you how much this prize, or how much this purse was worth, and why he was so pumped about it. At 500, Grubb has let spill in the past that it has taken up to double what the purse is to take a dive, because he's got to be able to. Mouse has had to be able to cover bets in the past and stuff, and since he's not just losing the money purse, he's also losing any bets. They have to be able to cover. So, plus or minus a few bucks, it would be double to have Grubb toss this fight.
Funds aren't exactly what they're used to, but what is the rate? Obviously Grubb is the favorite here, but if I put a significant amount down on Alex, and then, I can turn that potentially into something as well as the winning purse to compensate you.
Paying after the fight and using information. Not something that we have had proposed to us in some time. Well, you are aware of what the purse is worth. $500 is what Mr. Finesse has told us. So, I would say if we are talking about a post-fight payback, 1,500.
1,500. Yes. Yeah. Grub boy, how you feeling today? You feeling good?
Grubb is feeling fine. If I have
Just
to
come
tell
on,
you,
you can let him speak. I'm only asking about his well-being. I care about him just as much as you do.
And I'm looking him dead in the eye when I say it.
He crosses his arms and gives a and kind of turns his head and just gives like a short, curt nod to Grubb. And Grubb holds up, holds his thumb high in the air, some meat juice and stuff trickling off of the cinder block-sized fist. Grubb's feeling good,
Alex
Professor.
Watches the juice roll down his arm.
Grubb's feeling good, Professor.
Great. That's beautiful, Grubb. Honestly, you're looking fantastic. You're looking great. I certainly want to keep it that way. Although this is a high purse, Mouse, and I'm talking to Mouse now. Although this is a very high purse, there is the slight risk that if we don't come to some sort of agreement, that you would ultimately win, the purse and then some of the bets, but honestly, most people are going to be betting in his favor. So, it's to be expected that you're going to be paying out, not much, but it is going to be coming out of your pocket. I mean, it's a math game here. And, I am a professor in mathematics, so you got to take into consideration here covering people's bets, betting for the favorite.
You talk too much, Professor. Get to the point.
The point is, Alex, although he is a little thing in comparison to Grub, we wouldn't want to ever risk any injury to Grub, which would affect his potential future earnings. It's a risk. I don't want to take that risk. Do you want to take that risk? Instead, let's get a sure thing. Let's bet on the underdog here. And when I say underdog, I look at Alex.
We can already guarantee a sure thing, Doctor. We are right, Professor. We are right back where we started. I am only asking if you are willing to pay what we have put on the table. You're the one who has set the constraints before. Grub will deliver regardless. If I tell him to win, and he looks at Alex, he will win. If I tell him to lose, he will lose.
Let me consult.
And I'm going to turn around. And unless Darian's made his move... Okay.
Darian would like to kind of just get real close to Grub and try and whisper something in his ear.
Let's go ahead and do a stealth check at advantage since Mouse is focused on the professor. 15, solid. Let's see if he notices.
Alex is off to the side digging through another trash can.
Alex, come here, Alex.
What?
How much money do you have?
How much money do I have?
Yeah.
Shit, dude. I don't know. Not that much.
Like $100?
Like
Two?
Yeah, like 2 or something.
2. So if you're the underdog, no offense, there's no way you're gonna beat Grub. I'm sorry.
Fuck that, man. Why do you say that? Maybe I'll beat him.
No, you won't.
Not
Not unless we come to maybe, we could take all of your money and bet on yourself and then agree to give the purse and all of your winnings to Mouse.
I'm not betting on myself. Are you nuts?
You're gonna bet on Grub?
I don't bet.
You don't
I
bet
just
at all.
fight. No, man, I just fight. I'm just not that good with counting. I'm good at fighting, not counting.
Right. Cats have 7 lives. Dogs. Well,
What the fuck are you talking about?
just something. You're
Are
a good
you
boy.
on those mushrooms again?
No, you're a good boy, and I wish you well. I wish you well.
Thanks, bud. I wish
As
you well too.
As those two are wishing each other well, I would like to go up to Grub and whisper in his ear and go, hey, Grub, I've seen you fight before, and I know you're just going to absolutely destroy that little tiny fellow over there. All I ask is if you could, when he stops moving, could you maybe just stop hitting him? I'd be really thankful for that because I know you get very excited in the ring, and I have a gift for you. If you could just stop hitting him when he stops moving, and I'll pull out one of my like little tin birds.
So as you're pulling that out, Mouse comes over and he's like backing you away. Hey, hey, hey! And he sees that you're pulling the bird out and not like a weapon or anything.
I
like
do
that.
not like that.
So he kind of, pushes your shoulder back a little bit, and then he sees that it's a art piece rather than a weapon.
You can't go reaching into different. What is this? What are you trying to do?
It's a fucking bird, Mouse. What you think he's going to do with that?
Are you trying to bribe Grub? Did you think I wouldn't notice? Did you think that he wouldn't tell me?
Wait.
No, I see that you noticed.
Grub? He's showing him the bird.
No, he is absolutely correct, Alex. I'm absolutely trying to bribe him, but not to lose the fight. Like that's nothing or other. I just want him to stop hitting you when you hit the ground, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna be very surprising if not. I just want your face to not be completely not where it's supposed to be.
Oh. All right. Hey, Grub. Grub. Can I have a bite of that chicken? Or like a bone?
Before Grub can even look at Mouse for permission to answer, Mouse picks up just one of the large like leg bones that has already been stripped clean, and we lost somebody. I heard the ding. Oh, does not. Who did we lose? Dylan, it looks like. Hopefully
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
There he is.
There he is, indeed. Sorry about that. Okay, so before Grub can even look at Mouse for permission to answer, Mouse picks up a pretty picked clean, like drumstick bone, and throws it at you with as much force as this small, like 3 foot tall man can muster.
Alex catches it. Shit, dude. Thanks, bud. And he starts chewing on it.
And he kind of waves off like he's trying to bat, 10 mosquitoes away from his face. Very frustrating. He looks back at the professor.
Professor, I have bets to collect, money to make. Is this happening or not? 1,500 after the fight.
No, it is not. But I would like to take some action. What is the line?
What is my line, or what is the cage putting up? Those are two very different things.
Oh, what is your line, and what is the cage's?
Well, if you want to bet against your friend, I
Yes.
don't know if I would even take your money, but I am putting out 3-1 odds in favor of Grub. The cage is only giving Grub 2-1.
That's ridiculous. No offense. What about the nature of the victory? Are you taking odds on that?
Not for this fight. If it was to the death, it would be something completely different. Beaten with an arm to death, head torn off. These are all much more exciting, but considering that we are not allowed to shed copious amounts of blood, it is strictly on if Grub will win or lose.
I've got $100 on Grub winning.
Now, Professor, I am a man of honor and grace. If I take this money, there are no call-outs, no changes in the deal. Is this understood?
I wouldn't have it any other way. But I will have some words with you later when no one else is around about that neat, nifty thing that you do that I want to know.
That can be arranged. But for now,
And he holds out a hand for the money.
I pull out a singular $100 bill that is crumpled to shit, and it has a drawing on Benjamin's face. The drawing strangely looks like Mouse.
Ha! An artist, and he kind of pops the bill back and forth. An artist and a man of fine material worth. And he crumples the dollar bill back up and puts it in a pocket, pulls out a little notebook and writes something down into it, closes it with one hand and hides it away in one of his many pockets. Now, if there is nothing else, I need to see a few more people. You two, care to place any bets? Looking at Alex and Darian.
No, I don't bet, man. I just fight.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was just coming here to make sure that, all body parts stayed attached, as our friend back there gets a little overly zealous.
As long as your fighter stays in their lane, Grub will do the same. I just wouldn't piss him off. Now, I'm going to have to make sure that we have one other tiny bit of understanding. If your fighter is going to try and protect their own investment, the body, or any other side bets that are being placed, or even the professor's bet, if it is obvious that he is taking a dive and anything is pointed in my direction, I will find each and every one of you, your families, your friends, anything I can, and I will ruin it. Do I make myself clear, Professor?
I have no family, Mouse. You know this. We've been over this, and your threats, however, I know that you have to make them. They're really not necessary. I mean, when have I ever been not good and true with my word? I mean, sometimes I might lose you a little bit in subjects and topics of conversation, but mostly I just really want to be your friend. I mean, acquaintance, with some mutual respect, but mostly...
Baz. Like an insect. You prattle on over and over. It drives me insane. Take your fighter, take your friend, leave us be. And he's kind of waving his hands in a shooing motion very aggressively.
Well, with a deal, you always end with a handshake, correct? I just want to make sure everything is in understanding, and I'll reach my hand out towards Mouse.
He clasps your hand with both. It's kind of a reach up for him unless you have knelt down, but he doesn't seem to mind. He knows his own stature. And
I kind of lean in real close to his ear. I understand you're being talking tough, but if you ever threaten people that like ever again, Grub has to sleep sometime. Have a wonderful day.
Fantastic.
Alex slaps him on the back really hard, shakes his hand. Totally genuine.
Oh, I was whispering that.
All right.
I wave at Grub and catch his eye and give him a genuine smile.
Grub cracks just a little half of a smile before he stuffs another handful of bird breast into his mouth and chews quite heavily open-mouthed, the grease and grizzle kind of flowing down the sides of his chin. And they depart into the crowd. You can see Grub kind of leading the way, and they stop every once in a while. It looks like probably to take money and write down other bets and things like that. So now it's just you three away from the larger crowd that is forming. There's 100, 200 people around, which is about standard for cage fight night.
Told you we'd get you dinner. You got a bone.
Fuck yeah.
Don't choke on it.
Something more though, man. Maybe I'll go to that bar. Maybe. I don't know.
I think fight's on pretty soon.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Yeah, you
Maybe they
both
have
enjoy
peanuts.
this fight.
What were you saying, Darian?
Yeah, you both enjoy this fight. Good luck, Alex. I hope to see that you have everything attached where it's supposed to be attached. And I will just recommend one thing. You really like to be uppity and get right in there, but just think once or twice about what you're going to do. So, Professor, you watch out for them, make sure everything's all good, and you both have a great evening.
I can't
I'll be
control
alright.
that. But I'll have a good evening. See you tomorrow morning, bright and shiny. Hannah's shop.
Yep. Both hope that both see you there with everything attached. I can't stay around to watch this, so have a good one.
I stay to watch the fight.
And Alex is going to fight. All right. So you put $100 on Grub. So if Grub wins, it pays out. It pays out from Mouse. You'll get $100 back, and then $33 extra.
Beautiful.
And let's see what we've got here. Betting on any of the other fights that are taking place.
I am not.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Bup, bup, bup. I'm just pulling up Grub's stats here.
Beautiful grub.
Beautiful Grub indeed.
I like Grub quite a bit.
Me too. He is a lovable oaf. All right. So there is a couple of fights that happen beforehand, and then you two are kind of meandering through the crowd and things like that, and a gentleman steps up and goes into the arena, or not the arena, the ringed, the cage. It's chain link fence that's just kind of put haphazardly up into like a 7-sided cage almost. Let's see what we've got here. All right, so Jesse is the one who steps up. You see now, usually the one who does the announcements for fights that they are running. They being the Symphony. Jesse is a unknown member, kind of an underboss, so to speak. Works underneath Viola in the garden. But so Jesse steps up into the ring and kind of rotates around. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the main event, we have one last fight for you all. 2 crowd favorites, 2 titans of the fightins. But you don't need to hear my sweet, sweet voice. You would much rather me introduce your fighters. Now, returning for their 3rd night in a row, our champion, our undercard titan, represented wholly and fully, completely by his manager, partner, and friend, Mouse. I present to you the gargantuan, the gracious, the gruesome, Mr. Grub. And Grub lumbers into the ring. He has taken off the greasy shirt. He has on like relatively short cut off jean shorts. They come above his quite fat knees. He is a very big he's a very big boy. White, completely hairless. When I say white, I mean like powder white, like almost albino. And while he definitely looks like he has a lot of like body fat, he is built like almost like Mark Henry. If you pay attention to strongman competitions or wrestling, he's corn fed is probably the best way to put it. Big guy, a lot of layer of padding around, but a very strong build underneath. I mean, he has unrivaled strength in many occasions, but not enough to make the main event card. So he comes in, and there's a bunch of people like holding up money. There's different people going around like taking bets and stuff. And then Jesse kind of holds his hands up.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, another favorite, but definitely the underdog in this fight. Showed their face earlier in the day, did fantastically, was willing to come back and show us what can happen when all the world is watching. I present to you the ostentatious, the advantageous, the extravagant, Alex!
And there's cheers from the crowd. Alex, how do you look when you go into a ring, these bare knuckle fights?
He's pretty focused on his opponent. He's not real into the crowd. He lifts his hands up and accept the applause, but he's pretty ready to fight.
All right. And so Jesse comes back out after you've done like your little lap around the cage. There's two people holding up money and stuff. And Jesse finishes out.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there are representatives moving amongst you in the crowd. Get your bets in. We have about 60 seconds left until we get this thing underway. Grub favored 2-1 in this fight. Minimum bet $100. I will let you finish, and then we will commence. Remember, this is not to the death. I encourage the fighters to remember that. But more so, I would ask the crowd, keep it low. Both of them bring in plenty of entertainment for you all, and let's be fair, money for us. We wouldn't want anything terrible to happen to them just yet.
And Jesse kind of walks around and just looks, and he exits the ring. They put the chain and the padlock on the cage, and he's kind of pacing around the outside. You see the crowd kind of calm down a little bit. They've finished placing their bets, and Jesse holds up an air horn, actually, one of those like canned air horns, and he looks to Alex first.
Challenger, are you ready?
Oh, Alex nods.
There we go. And of course, champion, Grub, are you ready?
Grub pounds his, a fist into an open hand. Grub ready.
All right then.
And Grub just comes in charging. Now, we are going to do this. These are going to be athletics checks. So,
All right.
And we'll do these back and forth. This is going to be best of 11 is what we're going to do. So the first one to get to 6, we'll go back and forth. You'll do one, I'll do one, and we'll make this happen.
Okay.
All right.
So Alex, first thing Alex does is dodge, because he knows he's faster. He's smaller and faster, and he's gonna keep dodging as many of these meaty, humongous fists as he possibly can.
All right. Grub, on the other hand, knows whether he knows or he was told by Mouse, knows that he's not going to outpace you, so he comes in like full strength right out of the gate. He will swing in. So You dodge the first couple of blows, and then he just comes down. You've ducked underneath like just a wide right hook, and he comes down with just this left hand across the top of your back, like right below your neck. And you've been hit before. You've been hit by Grub before, but this is like having an anvil dropped on your back. I mean, it flattens you to the ground. You're able to get back up pretty quick, but first one goes to Grub. So hit your next one. So you get back up. You've kind of rolled back out away from Grub a little bit. He's still coming just like full steam. You dodge a couple of more kind of lazy shots, and the moment you go low again, he comes up with one of these just meaty knees, and it catches you right underneath the chin, like right across your neck and the top part of your chest. And it's like somebody just swung a 50-gallon drum into your chest. I mean, it connects, knocks you back on your back. You get back up, still very much ready to go, but is two heavy hits. Let's see the next one. You think you've got the moves figured out, still kind of on the defensive. Dodge 1, 2, 3, go low, and you know that the low is coming. Hold your hands down and catch, you hold your hands like in a cross below your chin, catch the knee that comes up from Grub. And right when that makes connection, you feel the double hand, like hammer smash that comes down behind you, both hands interlaced from Grub. And this catches you right on the back of the head, like right at the base of the spine. You're seeing stars. You don't even go to the ground. You're able to catch yourself backing up, but you're starting to get a little dizzy here. Grub's up 3-0 right now. Holy moly.
Alex is going to stumble backwards and take a second and then come back in strong.
So you come back in, tired of this defensive run back and forth, dodge the first strike just because Grub outranges you just a little bit just because of his massive size, but he's so slow to come back on the draw. You catch him with an open palm, like right underneath the armpit, makes his arm go numb a little bit, and you're able to get a full contact elbow like right across his jaw. He takes the hit, and it almost knocks him down, so it's 3-1. You follow up very quickly, back around, a second elbow on the other side of the head. Grub drops to a knee, and you catch an elbow right on the top of his dome. It's a little squishy, but you can definitely feel the impact. You're able to back off for the next strike. 3-2. Grub is not happy about this. Instead of standing all the way up, he almost rolls forward like a cannonball, smashes into you, and instead of knocking you down, almost carries you into the fence, and it shakes. Grub is up 4-2. While Grub is trying to correct himself from the roll, looks a little dizzy, you're able to capitalize on this, boxing both of the ears, stunning the big man, and then very quick knee right to the jaw, catches him just across the jaw, and it has stumbled him a little bit. 4-3. Grub does not like being hit with the knee. He stands up, your back is to this fence. He puts one set of mitts through the fence, the other hand comes in, and it's just a straight gut shot. It is 5-3 now. Grub needs one more. So Grub has caught you with this gut shot, knocks the wind out of you as you lean over, completely forgetting the defense that you have had that has worked relatively decently for you. You're completely unguarded. Grub comes up with a knee and then another double hand strike down on the base of your spine and the back of your head, and the lights they go out immediately. And you hear this faint bell dinging, or this faint air horn ringing in the background as the world kind of fades into this like gray white mixture. There's cheering from the crowd and people already yelling about money and things like that. You feel the weight of your body kind of disappear. You are carried out of the ring, though that you're not necessarily fully aware of it. And then you kind of come to, and the the professor is standing over you. You feel like maybe you only have a broken rib or two, nothing too damaged.
Oh man. Oh.
Never seen anybody knock Grub onto his knees like that before.
I told you I could beat him. I mean, I could. I didn't. Did I?
I think. No,
No. All right.
no, but I think you could some nights. Not today, but maybe.
And maybe if I had dinner first.
Yeah, instead
I'm
of
still
just
hungry,
the bone.
man. Yeah. That wasn't
Well.
quite enough.
Do you get paid just for losing?
No.
No.
We need
Gotta win.
to negotiate your contract.
What?
You're a name now.
I'm in. What? I'm in. What? I don't know what that means.
You're a name. You're a face. Maybe we make you the heel.
I'm a dude. I'm not a foot. What?
Well-
A what?
Do you want to make some money?
Fuck yeah.
Do you want to make more money than you're currently making?
Yeah, dude. Who doesn't?
Okay. Then what you need is a manager.
All right.
I'm pretty good with numbers. So I think, for a very small percentage.
Oh, you wanna like talk me up, and then when I win, you split it with me.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Split it at a percentage.
Yeah,
60-40.
all right. What?
60-40. It's I'll explain it to you later, but
All right.
why don't you come with me right now? I'm going to get you ready to go for tomorrow, and maybe there'll be some food in the trash can on the way.
Yeah, man, I might just buy something after. I think my rib's broken. I think I gotta go to the doctor and have him fix
Exactly
me
what
up,
I
and then
was thinking. Perfect.
I think I'm gonna
See?
actually get dinner, like a real dinner.
You got to get it to go, though, because, we still
No,
need
doctor
a full
first,
night's
man.
rest. Yeah, exactly.
Tooth's loose. And he leans forward and like wiggles the tooth shows him.
My goodness. I wonder if the doctor has any dentistry skills.
Yeah, his shit just fixes everything all at once. It's awesome.
Well, let's go. Let's get there. Do you have money to pay him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then let's go.
All right, help me up.
He holds out a hand. He thinks about it for a moment, and then he holds out a hand.
Alex uses him to stand up, and gets his balance, and starts towards the doctor.
Hey.
You guys are already in the washway, so it only takes a couple minutes to get over to the doctor's place. The door is closed as usual.
Alex knocks.
What is it?
Hey, Doc. Had a fight. You gotta fix me up, man.
I don't gotta do anything.
Well, I'll pay you to fix me up. How's that?
What happened?
Grub beat the shit
happened.
out of me. Oh, no, maybe not really the shit. Just,
He is a big guy.
I can't really breathe right.
If you're not dying, then you don't really need.
She'll pay. He'll pay.
Fuck you, man.
Sorry.
No, not you. I don't care what you call me. Doc, I got money. Come fix me up. Come on.
Whatever. He'll open the door. I'm only doing this because we have a mission. Normally, I deal with life-threatening issues.
You're only doing this because I have money for you. Mission.
Both.
And he goes into the first room and sits down on the table. Holds out his arm.
He'll wait a couple minutes before going in. And then he'll administer one of his basic quints for healing.
And your ribs snap back into place. Your tooth replaces itself in the mostly correct position. And you feel the bruises and stuff closing, healing up and what have you. It runs its course over the course of a few seconds, like 30 seconds and stuff. And then you still feel sore, but none of the, you touch your chest and stuff, and the ribs are all back in place. They don't hurt. It's just like an overall soreness from your body being forced to adjust everything back into position. Nothing out of the ordinary from how the doctor has healed you in the past.
He hops off the table and slaps the doctor on the back and starts tugging the professor towards the spills. Gotta get some food, man.
Gotta get my payment, man.
Oh shit, dude, sorry.
Yeah,
He turns
you
around.
go on ahead. I've got some things to discuss.
Well, I gotta pay him though.
Yeah, no, you pay him, and then go get some food
Oh, alright.
tomorrow
Yeah.
morning at Hannah's. Or maybe go there tonight. I don't know where you sleep.
Alright. Doc, how much is it?
What do you have?
You cut off.
What do you have?
Like 200 something. I got a hammer. I got
No, you need that hammer.
yeah.
This is why you keep getting hurt. You need to value the things that you have.
What?
You can't be giving away your weapons.
That's not my weapon, it's a hammer.
A hammer can be a weapon.
Yeah, but it's not my weapon. I mean, it's what?
You can use it as a... I'm done. 150 for the broken ribs.
150? Alright. And he hands it over. He might need some help counting it. He goes really slowly.
I make sure that if the doctor counts it, he counts it right. Or I just watch it. I won't say anything.
Yeah, he'll count it right. Now, next time, maybe we don't fight the night before a mission.
Yeah, alright. Seems to be everybody thinks that. I never had missions before, man. I don't know.
Well, now you do.
Alright,
We are
alright.
part of a
I got it.
crew of some sorts now.
Oh, like a pack.
Yes.
Oh, I love you guys, man. Come on.
Like
Oh,
a pack
you're
of wild
with me.
dogs.
Didn't you have some food to
Shit.
get?
Where's Darian? I gotta get Darian and get some food. And he walks off.
The doctor will shut the door behind him.
As soon as the door's closed.
What have you learned?
Why must you bring them here for a broken rib?
Well, mostly I just wanted to see what you charge for broken ribs. I'm gonna manage the young boy. I'm gonna be his new fight promoter.
I don't understand you.
I think he might actually be able to beat Grub. I mean, we might have to, it might be a a concentrated effort, perhaps.
I'm sorry, maybe you thought I cared. I don't.
Okay, well, besides the point, what have you learned about the heart in the jar of you-know-what?
Matt, what can I roll since I've been researching pretty much from when he dropped it off to when I went to go see.
Let's do 2 natures and 2 arcanas, and we'll see what we get. A little bit of lag with Roll20 today. That's all right.
Let's take the first 2, whatever.
Of course. So a 4 and a 6, and then a 19 and a 20. All right. 10 seconds while I send you something, just so you can RP what you learned. Sent, all yours.
Peanut
Okay.
butter jelly.
So, origin tests were inconclusive. However, longevity tests. I believe this thing could live forever on just lard.
That's what makes you believe that.
Well, you see, it doesn't seem to be slowing down its rate of consumption. If something were to be, or to be fair, it doesn't seem to be increasing it either. If something were to be consuming lard at this rate and building a tolerance, I'd be concerned. But there's no tolerance built. The rate stays the same, therefore the longevity stays the same.
Now, with the lard, it's eating lard. What is something that's similar to lard? Lard is essentially just a protein. Concentrated fat. What if we try introducing a different substance?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I have an idea, but I need to know you're willing to go to all lengths.
All lengths? Well,
All lengths.
I mean, there are some ethical concerns, of course. I mean,
Ethical concerns? We're saving the world.
this is certainly an avenue of research that I absolutely must go down, but and yes, we are going to potentially see a living thing walking around that should be dead tomorrow, but saving the world, I mean, I've got some other approaches to doing so, or at least to reset it. But anyway, yes, yeah, well, I'm open. Oh, I'm all ears. I'll say that.
A human heart feeds on human flesh.
Well,
What if we introduce that?
I step back and I seem to be thinking it over, and then I look at the environment that we're in.
That would be quite easily obtained. I mean, young Alex, if he keeps fighting, he's inevitably going to get cut. And as long as you patch him up, perhaps we can come to an arrangement where maybe the price of fixing him up is reduced. And on top of that, prior to fixing him, we take a little bit. I mean, we're putting it back with that great nifty regenerative medicine you've created.
I like the way you think.
So I don't really have a moral quandary here. I think this is an opportunity, and also Alex isn't the only person you see. But the more you take from the wider variety of people, the more eyebrows could be raised. This still needs to. Yes.
Until we're ready to unleash the cure.
The cure, right? When the cure is tested thoroughly and peer-reviewed. We must test it in secret. You cannot release it. We have to be sure.
Well, that's how you test
risk
it.
Utter failure?
What worse could be happening?
Well, the Kalis walking around, living dead deities.
Apparently they already are. What's a few more? In the name of the cure.
I will need convincing on that, but we're not there yet. You're at the finish line. We are at step number 1. We haven't even tied our shoes.
You need to see your goals, man. And the goal is the cure.
Yes. Well, fine. Goal is the cure. I mean, plenty of cures, but there's more.
So we test the heart with that flesh. See
yes, I agree. Test the heart with flesh.
Not sure how it would work though. But then what would stop? Where did we get this heart from? The jar. Do we know what's inside these Kayla things?
Perhaps we'll have an opportunity to explore what is inside one tomorrow. Do we try to capture one?
If they have the same... No, far too risky. The others would be questioning that.
Correct, right, yes.
Try and keep your wits about you.
I do get ahead of myself sometimes.
But what stops their hearts from eating them?
Maybe it's a size thing. A fish only grows as big as its container. So, the heart cannot grow. Or perhaps the heart... I don't know. There are too many variables.
We'll try with human flesh. That'll be the next experiment. It seems
also
to be the logical step.
I think blood would be a good... No.
I'm glad you mentioned the blood, because there's more.
It's made more.
Well, no. There's more to what I have to tell you.
Well, come on now.
The blood that's black, the black blood, it is not created, but transformed, but not organically. It's as if it's been experimented on, but not by me. This was before me.
So someone has... We are potentially stumbling upon someone else's experiments, is what you're telling me.
It's possible. It's also possible that it's just undergone some alchemical transformations due to the environment, but perhaps more unlikely. I think somebody knows. But no one in our party. They are far too dumb. But someone knows.
Someone knows, and we must know who that someone is, and we must know everything that they know.
The knowing is key. We must know before they know.
Yes. If we find them, I will know everything they know.
Everything? How do I know that you know that? How do you know that you know that?
I know things.
Hmm.
And I have the ways of knowing things.
Do you seem doubtful of that?
Yeah.
If we are going to have true transparency between us, then you must know that you are not the only capable one here.
And I will cast Detect Thoughts.
On me?
Yes.
Do I have to roll a save?
I'm going to try to pry into your brain a little bit. So yes, you would have to do a will save. Spell DC is 14. And
That's not how it went.
Portent, you fail.
No.
I'm giving you a 3 instead.
Okay.
So you feel complete confidence in blocking me.
But then something happens. Reality shifts in a manner.
And I penetrate inside of your brain.
Do you understand me now?
Whoa. And you can just do that.
And I stop.
Well, not all the time. I mean, a couple times a day.
Cool. I trust you. Don't ever do that again.
Fine.
Not to me, at least. But to the
No.
others.
No, to the one who's been experimenting and
That's what
creating
I mean.
things.
I mean the others that know. So we can know.
Yes,
Because we must know what they know.
we're on the same page. Tomorrow, though, I mean, can you bring some extra Healy things? Because, we're going to have to push Alex and Darian directly into the path of some dead things. And I'm a little bit nervous that they'll fall down and the thing will get close to us. It eats flesh.
Like the heart might.
Oh. I haven't put that together. The heart could be directly related to these creatures. The heart hungers for flesh. These things clearly exhibit a behavior of hungering for flesh. Huh.
Can I roll some sort of Arcana check to see if that jives? Does that feel like that I could make like a convincing conclusion that the two are related?
Of course. Go ahead and you can roll an Arcana or an Arcana is probably the best call. Yeah, you can put that together. This is, if the theory is correct, this could indeed be a K-list heart.
Perhaps. No, too risky to take that with us outside of the garden.
Oh, no. It does not leave the shop. Not the slab.
No.
This is the safest place. You took it here. For a reason.
Do you have jars?
No. All of my glass has been made into vials. The only jar I have is the one you brought me.
We'll have to convince Hannah to bring some jars. That's something for tomorrow. I gotta go home. But get some shut eye. See you tomorrow.
Before you go, you
What?
want me to bring heals. Extra.
Yes, I think
For-
you will need them.
For that, I need red. How's your stock?
Low. What I need so that we can reproduce them. I want them. I want lots of them. Why do you think I've been hounding for a box of poop?
I understand, but I need 2. It's in the interest of the group. Don't you want to see how big Alex can get?
2. Well, I'll need a trade.
The trade will be that I will save at least 1 heal for you. Guaranteed health. No better trade than that.
I'll
That's
have your
life I'm
word.
giving you. My word.
I pull out 2 mushrooms and I look at them, and they're like in a rolled up black bag that I have tucked into my inside coat pocket, and I pull them out and I unroll it and I pull out just 2 that are still fresh and beautiful, and I hand them to you.
You'll take those? Thank you.
Do they have to be fresh for your beginning?
No, these'll do.
Because if they'll do, no matter what, I have a dried one I'd like to give you and take the fresh one back.
That's fine.
Great. I give you one that is dried, and you don't know how old it is.
Okay.
It's of indeterminable age. That's what I had written down. That's why.
Yep, I knew exactly which one you were talking about.
And Matt, just to be clear, that'll work for me? Because the doctor would know.
It's risky with one that looks this old. Fresher is better. It doesn't necessarily require, because the active ingredients don't dissipate too quickly with age, as long as the structure is there. But it's a risk.
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow.
And he walks away.
Tomorrow.
All right.
I'll let myself out.
Good. He'll slam the door shut behind him.
All right. We are halfway through the session, the close of the 4th day. When we come back, I'll double check with Hannah and see if she's done anything else outside of strip the door. But we're going to take a 15-minute break for those of you watching live or on YouTube. I'm not editing the breaks out on YouTube because I'm lazy for now. So we're going to take a 15-minute break. We're going to enjoy some music from Max Tunes over at taketones.com. And if you're just joining us now, or in the future, you can always go back and watch this in the VOD or on our YouTube channel. Just look up Rhapsody or go to the Team Rankstar YouTube page. We're going to take that break. We will be back at 22 after the hour, 22 after 8 on the West Coast, 3 hours further for those of you on the East Coast. So I'm going to have production roll us over to intermission, and I will see you all back here in 15 minutes. Welcome back for the second half of Rhapsody Session 7. We're in the Rising Tides arc currently. We want to thank everybody who's joining us live or in the future. You're all very important to us. A couple of things to remember while we're playing this game. Rhapsody is a mature game. There will be some stuff that takes place or words that are said that may not be appropriate for our younger audience. Keep that in mind, but I encourage you to share with all of your friends, especially if they are interested in Dungeons and Dragons or they like dystopian or post-apocalyptic stuff. That is the kind of game Rhapsody is. If you want to read more about the campaign, maybe catch up, this is your first time joining us, head on over to our Discord, which is in the YouTube description below, or in live chat. You can just type !D&D, get access to our Discord, the living document, role play and everything with the players. You can ask them questions or myself questions, anything you would like. Come on over, hang out with us. Excuse me. We're sponsored in part, as always, by Inked Gaming and Team Rankstar. Over at Inked Gaming, you can use code TRS12 to get 12% off your final purchase. You can get play mats, war maps, so you can play Dungeons and Dragons or any other tabletop games. You can get game crates, anything your heart desires, most everything with custom art on it. Again, that is inkedgaming.com, and you can use code TRS12 to get 12% off. Final shout-outs, if you enjoyed the music on the break, at the beginning, or the end of the stream, you can thank Max Tunes at taketones.com for that. You can head on over there as well. Get your own music that you can use in your YouTube videos, on your Twitch streams, or anything. It's all royalty-free. All you have to do is what I'm doing. A little shout-out every once in a while. And finally, a big thanks to Wizards of the Coast for making this awesome game that some of us have been playing for the better part of our lives, but we've all been enjoying at least over the past 7 weeks. And, of course, Roll20.net. It's the reason that we're all able to play with each other every Friday live on Twitch, regardless of where we are at. It's a free web client. You're seeing it every day on the screen. That's the chat window. You see the map. All these beautiful assets that we have because we're pro members. You don't have to be a pro member. You can pay nothing and still get 90% of the same experience. So check them out as well at roll20.net. Let's jump back into the game. Everybody is here. Everybody's ready. I want to wrap up one last thing before we before we move over to the next day. And that is Hannah, who does not rest a ton, as we have come to find out. Hannah is working with nearly 100 pounds of stainless steel that she has stripped off of this freezer door. And it looks like we're going to try and make some weapons. Weapons and possibly some armor. Now, before we start doing some dice rolls, Hannah, are you trying to make like weapons grade weapons? Well, that came out wrong. Of course you want them to be weapons grade. Are we trying to make permanent weapons, or are we doing ad hoc construction?
I imagine they'd be permanent because I'm using good material with an actual forge.
All right. So you have the steel, you have the forge. We are going to need flux and flux and some other different compounds to soften and then reharden the steel. It will take some money. Since we're in the garden and you have access to like other shops and things like that, if we want to make a permanent weapon, I see the weapon is the top of your list. We're going to have to spend some money on chemicals and additives and things like that to actually make it happen, and then that will be followed by some skill checks. Good with that?
I have no actual cash, so I would have to barter, and everything is closed considering it's the middle of the night.
That's fair, but you would also know that this is the case if you were going to be trying to make permanent stuff. I have no problem with it being kind of retcon that you went and got these. Most of the materials are pretty easy to find around the garden, so I have no problem with you. We can retcon the trading and stuff. We can kind of do it fast, that we don't have to do any major RP or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, she just honestly she'll end up using some of the stainless steel to trade with, considering she has 100 pounds, and the things that I want right now are not 100 pounds worth of material.
Absolutely. There's always some burn off, but yeah, you'll have plenty of leftover material if everything goes appropriately. Excuse me. So, for a Warhammer is the first thing that you're looking to make, correct? In order of priority? All right.
All right.
So, Warhammer will need $750 worth of purchase or trade to get enough of the like chemicals, the flux and carbon and things like that to be able to reshape and reform and make the head of this hammer.
Okay. I don't have that much. I have no idea how much money steel goes for per pound. Stainless steel.
So the steel, unworked in sheets, we will say that it is. I actually think I have this on my sheet. If you give me 1 second, I will be able to tell you. So good quality steel like this, with how well you're able to pull it all off, you will be able to get. You'll be able to get about $5 a pound for sheets of steel.
Okay. So I have to change. This has to be ad hoc because the material doesn't pay for any of that.
Makes sense. Then we will do ad hoc and we'll do some skills checks. Warhammer is going to be 8 checks. These will be smithing with. So we'll do 4 smithing checks with intelligence and then 4 smithing checks with strength. The DC on these will be. Warhammer's not too difficult. Martial, melee. We'll say the DC on these is 12.
That was with strength. So the first 4 are strength.
Sounds good. And then the intelligence. All right. So the Warhammer will deal standard Warhammer damage. So it's 1d8 bludgeoning, 1d10 if it's being wielded with 2 hands. And so you feel like you do a decent job. May have messed up some of the softening and rehardening, things like that, but it's definitely enough to be passable. The Warhammer mechanically will work until it connects 20 times. So you're making this for whom? Because they're probably going to want to write it down immediately.
It's for Alex.
Okay. So Alex, you'll need to make sure you keep track. Excuse me, keep track somewhere. Every swing that connects with the Warhammer, you'll want to step down from 20. I will also try and keep track on this first one.
Got it.
And then we're pretty cool here. We'll do honor system in the future, but I'll try and keep track to keep you up to date on this first one here. So that will take Warhammer head So that'll take 5 pounds of steel to make between, a couple of mess ups and then loss of, loss from the burn off and things like that. So take 5 pounds of steel to make the Warhammer. Doing the... How much are you sleeping tonight?
I'm not.
Not at all. 0 rest.
Nope.
Okay. Then we'll be able to get through one more. Would you rather reinforce one of the pieces of armor or make the shield?
What weapon does Darren use again? I've players forget.
I use a glaive.
Reinforce the armor then.
All right. Going to reinforce the armor. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. So we are going to try to upgrade the padded armor. How far would you like to try and upgrade?
I don't know what it would be.
So you'd have here, your options would be studded leather. You could also make you could also make it scale mail, or you could go big time and get to splint mail. Again, obviously, this would be ad hoc usage with the metal. I'm assuming.
Scale at that point, I would try for.
All right, going for the scale. Let us see. All right, so we are going to do 10 checks this time. 5 intelligence, 5 strength. Actually, we're going to do 8 smith checks again, but then we're going to do 2 checks. What kits are you trained with again?
Tinkers, carpenters, glassblower, smith.
We will do 8 checks with the smith, 4 and 4, and then 2 checks with the tinker's tools, since we're trying to put the scales in. Yep. The tinkers will be...
Oh, I just did strength and intelligence again.
That works. We'll take those. It's fine. All right. So the scale mail... The scale mail will function just like scale mail would. You will lose 20 pounds of metal. And who are you going to be trying to hand this off to?
Likely Alex as well.
Likely Alex as well. So Alex, pay attention on this one. So the scale mail function the same way. So it's armor class 14 plus up to 2 from your dex modifier, depending on what your dex modifier is. And you'll have disadvantage on stealth checks. It weighs 45 pounds, blah, 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 blah. This will function as scale mail until you take 1, 2, 3, 4. We missed on 1, 2, 3. Well, missed on 4. All right. So this will, up until you take 100 points of damage from physical attacks. So like weapons, claws, bites, things like that. So 100 points of damage. Web.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Jeff.
Okay, now I can hear Matt.
Ooh, might have had a little bit of technical difficulty there. Sorry about that. 20 hits with the hammer, 100 points of weapon damage for the scale mail before they both break. The hammer will be useless after the 20 hits. The scale mail will reduce down to padded armor once it's taken 100 points of weapon damage. Everybody hear me through that one?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
don't know what happened. Apologies for that. Anything else, Hannah, before you call it a night? That's a lot of work.
No, that's all I can do.
All right, right up until the place, the garden starts a bustling. Let me put down in my notes here what happened. And I'm going to start with Minerva's start with the day, since she is the second one to wake up, since Hannah never actually went to bed.
All right, so wake up nice and early because I went to bed early, like a normal person who's going out on an adventure the next day. And first off, mechanically, I'm going to be switching some spells around.
Beautiful, thank you. What are we switching to?
I'm getting rid of heat metal and adding. Let's see, what was the name? I thought I had this on my sheet. Speak with animals. There it is. Oh, it's a first level spell. That's why I can't see it. Other than that, that ticking off animal friendship and putting in instead flaming sphere.
All right. So
Actually,
switching
no,
out
gust of wind. Sorry.
Gust of wind. Okay. Understood on the private message I got from that person. Yeah. So switching out two spells, getting speak with animals. Did I hear that correctly? Or animal
Yep.
friendship?
No, getting rid of animal friendship for speak with animals because I really already have animal friendship.
And then subbing out and getting gust of wind.
For heat metal, yes.
Yep. All right. And then after you have prepared yourself for the day, gone through these little rituals, what is your next steps?
I'm going to do the chores that I have to do around the house and the barn, feed the animals, things like that. I'm going to write a letter for Genevieve saying, hey, guess what? We're doing it again. Everything's in the same place. Sorry, there was an
Fantastic.
emergency.
And you're just pinning that to the door like you two have been doing?
Yes, and I tell her where the salt I left for her is in my house.
All right.
After that, I will head to, I believe we're meeting at Hannah's.
So headed on over to Hannah's place.
Mhm.
We'll work our way in the garden itself. So, Professor, what does your morning look like? Preparations and otherwise.
I'm keeping the same spells that I normally have. I'm ensuring that I have my spells that are ritually cast correctly organized so that I have access to them. But I'll be Shield, Cause Fear, Catapult, Thunderwave, Floating Disc, Detect Thoughts, and Gust of Wind. And I need to roll my 2 portents as I wake up. I envision that these things just come to me in the morning, like glimpses of the future. And I
That's
just wake up with my 2 rolls.
Yeah, great way to visualize it.
12 and 19.
Not
Great.
too shabby. Places
Those
that
are
you
good.
like. That 19 is definitely a good place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does your RP part of the day look like?
So I'm going to make sure that the money that Mouse told me he was going to leave for me is in the appropriate spot.
Oh, it was there before you even got there. Yeah, you don't even know
Beautiful.
how. But yeah, there was $33 or 100. Your 100. It is not the same bill that you gave him.
Oh.
And then 33 other dollars are with it.
Okay, so I have $213 now, which I'm happy about. And I will roll them up. I like to think that the professor keeps money rolled up with rubber bands around it like a gangster, even though he's not, just because he's old school. And then he will just kind of gather his stuff, do once or two looky-loos. He takes the wind chimes, he jingles them, and then leaves them in his doorway. But he affixes his Dreamcatcher belt before he leaves the house.
Very nice. I have to ask only because it hasn't happened. Any libations or imbibing happening before you leave?
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my green leaf joint, and I'm smoking that on my way up.
The old walkie duck. Let's go ahead and get a couple of Constitution Constitution saves. Where are you going? Are you going to Hannah's or to the gate?
I'm gonna get. I'll go straight to Hannah's.
Okay, just out of RP knowledge, just something that you and Hannah were told. Remember, you have to stop by with your group, with the sheriff, to drop off identification and licensing badges.
Yes, some of those details collateral. I haven't shared with everyone, but
yes, yeah, we know. People know if they know, and people know if they don't. So Constitution save 1 is a 12, and the second one as well. All right, yeah, you're more than good. Greenleaf is not a strong drug unless it is mixed with other things. So you're just feeling good, man. Like chill, mellow, little energy kind of in the background. But other than that, you still have presence of mind. You're not like too crazy. No more than normal, obviously.
No more than normal.
Maybe a little extra chatterboxy, but nothing bananas by any means, and certainly not suffering any ill effects from it.
Yes, if there's food at Hannah's, I'm hoping that there's some sort of food at Hannah's.
All right. Hannah, what does your start to the day look like, or rather the end of your night?
She is gathering all of her tools to take with her. Obviously, she can't bring a whole forge, but any of the actual tools she's able to bring with her, she carries, and she readies a bunch of stuff to sell, which I messaged you. As soon as places are open that are willing to buy it, she's not haggling very much between shops at all, really. But she is selling all of that to get make it liquid. 10 torches, 75 caltrops, a prosthetic arm, 7 sets of formal dining wear, and 75 pounds of stainless steel.
All right. Well, the stainless steel we'll be able to do at $5 a pound. We'll go ahead and calculate this out right now since you're not haggling at all. So we got 75 times 5. So that's $375 there. The dining ware, do you have what I quoted that at before?
I can find it.
Okay. The prosthetic arm, that is a hook arm. Since you're not haggling at all, we'll do 10, so we're at 385. Caltrops. Bum, bum, bum. One of these days I'll memorize all of them. Caltrops. So we've got 2, 4, 6, just shy of 4 sets. $150 for the caltrops. So we're at 535 and then 10 torches. $5 for the 10 torches. So 10 torches, 75 caltrops, a prosthetic arm, and 75 pounds of stainless steel nets you $540. And then the 7 sets of formal dining wear. I want to say we had that at $50 per set, but I'm not 100%.
I'll find it. It's on my laptop. I'll take a look during downtime.
Okay, sounds good.
Otherwise, once she's done, she goes to her shop to wait.
Going to the shop to wait. Darian, your morning, what does it look like?
Darian actually went to bed at a decent time last night, so he woke up actually pretty early. Rolling up his maps, getting ready. Pretty much everything that he usually has is in his bag. And then he would actually go over to Minerva's on the way. But if she's not there, then he'd head over to Hannah's.
All
I think
right.
I'll be gone by then.
Alex, what's your morning look like?
Alex is going to get up and look for some breakfast in trash cans on the way to Hannah's. Simple morning.
Investigation.
Oh man, he's not going to find anything.
Yeah, tough morning for scraps. It looks like most of the trash is still the same as it was last night, but there's a bunch of extra like towels and newspaper and dust, things like that. But nothing major. Definitely no food.
Well, and he's just going to go straight to Hannah's then.
And then the doctor.
Hope Minerva has brought some food.
Doctor, what does your morning look like?
Usual. Prepare everything and then head over to the gate, which is where Hannah told Hannah set to meet him.
All right. So at Hannah's place, the first to arrive is Minerva, essentially right as Hannah is getting back from selling stuff.
Bobby,
Good morning. Did you sleep at all?
I did not. I made equipment.
Not at all?
I won't need it. Not for today.
If you say so. All right. Is everyone else here?
No, and November was supposed to send me people last night. Did not. So I hope I got the measurements right on this armor I made.
That man.
Professor November walks up, essentially right as that man has said.
Good morning, and top of the morning to you!
Anna walks into her shop.
All right, I'll just follow right in. Hello, Minerva.
Good morning.
Are you carrying like a basket of food or anything?
She is carrying a large bundle of things. Yes, wrapped up in a big poofy, looks like maybe a sleeping.
Do you need help with that?
I should be fine, thank you.
Well, after you, let me get the door.
She will let him get the door.
He opens it and then tries to peek into the. Is there an opening to this sleeping bag sack?
Sure.
He'll just try to peek in as not overtly, but he's just trying to take a quick peek.
Inside there is more cloth because she didn't want the food getting all over the inside of the sleeping bag.
Sheets in a sleeping bag. Yes, that's very smart.
Well, I was told we're probably staying out overnight. I wanted to make sure we had enough.
Yes, I feel woefully unprepared now as I realize I have no blanket or pillow. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'll just bundle up my jacket. I can pretty much sleep anywhere.
Where's the weirdest place you've slept?
The beach.
The beach.
Yes. Sand, it gets everywhere. It's actually a horrible place to sleep, but we had a blanket and it was a date.
Uh-huh. Where is everyone else?
Well, Alex, I fear will be slow to rise. You see, he sometimes fights for money, and despite all my persuasions otherwise, he did take quite a beating. But I brought him to the doctor last night to patch him up. So, I'm sure he'll be here any minute.
You fought for money, did he? And he knew we were going out today, correct?
Yes, he did. And, well, you see, it was actually the doctor who told him that he needs to start valuing the things that he has. It was quite insightful.
Might be the first smart thing I've heard him say.
Oh, you just got to keep listening to him talk. He's actually quite prolific.
Prolific? Was he published?
Well, you could say that.
Not quite sure I get your meaning.
I'm sure he aims to be, the doctor.
Fair. All right.
Doctor, would you... So you are like 30 paces behind Alex and Darian coming away from the washways. You would see them turn towards... turn into the bazaar rather than walking past it toward the gate. Would you follow them or would you go to the gate still?
I'll go to the gate.
Okay. Alex and Darian arrive at Hannah's. Door still open, so you can see Minerva and the professor standing in the doorway just inside. No sight of Hannah.
Morning, guys. Where's Hannah?
I believe she's inside, but she doesn't seem too talkative.
Alex is going to stick his head in the door and look for Hannah.
Alex, come here. I have something for you.
Alex walks right up, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yes, this should fit. Here, try this on. And she gives you a Kevlar vest that has been obviously heavily modified with steel, it seems.
He puts it on.
How does it fit? Fine. And she's checking all around to make sure it fits you well, tightening strap. It looks fine. How does it feel?
Well, good. Who's it for?
You.
For me.
Yes. It will not last fully. Most of the steel will fall off once it gets hit a couple of times, but
What?
the
Shit.
vest will be fine. Here, and these two things as well. you can take your bats, but these are better. And she hands you the warhammer. It's obviously it's not shoddy work, but it's temporary and a rush job. Um, and it is the war pick, which is the essentially it was just a pole with a railroad spike driven through the top. You can use these.
Alex takes them and swings them around and walks outside, still sort of practicing and swinging them around. Swings them real close to the November's face, but of course certainly not intending to hit him, but enough to like make him step back a little bit.
Yeah, I lean closer to Minerva.
Careful, careful.
I got it. Don't get in front of this. Huh? Yeah.
I don't plan on it.
Darren just lets out a big long sigh watching Alex play with these weapons like a child and walks inside, says hello to Professor November and Miss Minerva.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, I really don't know what's going on. Suppose we're going to the East End. We got a job down there. Did some mapping last night, and hopefully it'll help along the way.
Hannah looks at November with a lot of unrestrained anger. Did you tell them? Like I asked?
Tell them what?
Holy fuck.
Not all the finer details. I mean,
I am going to lock up. Bubby, could you please explain what I told you to them?
Yes. I'm gonna wait for Hannah to go inside.
Or Hannah's closing up the shop entirely.
Ah, okay. Alright, so we are heading to the Lower East Side to chase after a man who this altar cocker, pointing at the professor, managed to drive crazy a man. My words are failing me. I apologize.
drive crazy a man. No, go on.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
I know.
Hannah is in danger of losing her license. The professor engineered a situation where got Hannah in trouble, and the guard are basically blackmailing her into finding this man.
Blackmailing us, you mean?
That's not cool. They can't do that to her. She's an upstanding businesswoman in the garden. Who do they think they are?
Let's walk and talk, please. We have to make it to the guard post before we leave.
Wait, why do we all need to go?
That is what the guard told me we needed to do.
Alright.
Insight check.
Truthful.
That is what the guard told us to do.
Not bring everybody, did they?
Yeah, is bring everybody because everybody would have to hand over their licenses.
Oh, right.
Oh, I didn't remember everyone would have to hand over the license. I was pretty sure it was just Hannah and November that had to, but he wanted to know who was going.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell him that 6 people are going, but he was anybody who shows up to check in with Hannah would have to hand over licenses with Hannah. He made it abundantly clear that it definitely had to be Hannah and Professor November, but anybody else that showed up as well. They're the only other person that they're very, very aware of is Alex.
Oh. Then she would rephrase what she had said, because Dylan...
All good.
November and I need to go to the guard post to relinquish our licenses. They, Alex, are very aware of you working for me. Bubby, Darian, they will probably push you to give up your license if you come with us. You can just meet us at the front of the garden, though.
Well, I'd love to help you down there at the guard tower, Miss Hannah. I can't really afford to lose my license, so if it's all right by all of you, I would like to just prepare at the gate, make sure everything's good, maybe go take an eye out to make sure nothing's unsettled, and I'll wait for all you there.
Hannah nods at you. Alex, you can also back out if you want. They will just likely be suspicious that you are not with.
Nah, I'm good. What are they gonna do? Take my license? Ha!
Okay.
They can have this bracelet.
And Bubby, I will meet you at the front gate too.
Yes, I will be there.
Thank you. And if you can get Darian up to speed as you walk with him, and the doctor if you find him.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be there. He wouldn't pass up an opportunity like this. Now, Hannah, I seem to be feeling quite a lot of tension directed at me, from you as well as your grandmother. Now, I don't know exactly what you told her, but you seem to be laying the whole blame of this whole situation on my shoulders and not taking any blame yourself. I mean, it was you who decided to invite the man into your home, was it not?
It was you that used mind magic, and that is what we are being blackmailed for. She says that lower.
Sure, but,
Had you not done that, none of this would happen.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
There are many witnesses, November, that show us in places that were not where Remy broke out of jail. It is only the mind magic that pushed us to do this.
Maybe, but, I feel like you've got a little bit of a wild side that you're not really being honest with yourself about. Just something to consider.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you don't. That's fine. We'll talk about it later. But first, let's go on. Let's give the Gestapo what they want. Let's play ball. And then let's go find a safe house.
Hannah will start going towards the guard tower.
Today's going to be a good day.
He's just saying that out in the open to anybody.
All right, so Hannah and the professor are going to the main guard outpost. Did I hear correctly that Alex is also going?
Yes.
And then Minerva and Darian, what are you two doing?
I'll be heading to the front gate with Darian.
All right. So Darian and Minerva, you get up to the gate. It's pretty empty. The gate hasn't been raised yet. There's probably 15, 20 minutes left until the gate is actually raised. But you do see the doctor waiting in the wings near the gate. Doc, what are you doing while you wait?
Just standing there. Probably looking pretty impatient.
Color me shocked. Looking impatient. So, Darian and Minerva see the doctor waiting, looking a little possibly impatient, but definitely waiting near the gate.
Good morning.
Good morning to you too.
The others are just on the way to the guard post to drop off their licenses, and they'll be on their way.
Very good.
Not really, but your definition of good probably differs from mine.
How much do you know
Well-
about what we're doing today?
Not much. I know the professor must have done something. Hannah came to my shop. She was very distraught.
Yes, basically, there was an incident involving, do you know Remy?
No.
All right, there was a man, the one who was talking about the weapons cache that Hannah and the professor were talking about earlier. He was the one that they found the information from. Apparently, they found the information using less than legitimate means that the guard were able to catch wind of and are blackmailing Hannah to go and retrieve him after he broke out from jail.
Wait, they
So
know
that
the
is
location of a weapon cache?
a potential one, yes.
Well, damn, we definitely need to get Hannah's license back because that could be good for us.
If everything goes well, potentially, yes.
Hey, doctor, I just wanted to say, I was a little rude to you the first time we met, and it seems we're going to be working more together in the future. I just don't like my choices being made for me without my knowledge. I was a little bit asleep at the moment when you stabbed me with the needles, and I didn't much like the effect it had. It was quite painful. I wasn't used to it, and I took that out brashly on you in that moment. And I would just like to say, I hope in the future we can work well together. And I will try, as Miss Hannah has informed me, try to choose my words more wisely.
In the future, I expect you to get injured again, and I will be there to heal you. In return, all I ask is that you trust what I'm giving you is there to help you.
If you just give me a little heads up before you just like ram it right in my behind, I'd like that. That'd be appreciated. But I
Sometimes
will
time
in
isn't
turn,
a luxury.
and I understand that, but just like maybe one out of every four, a little bit of heads up would be great. I'd love that. Um, and I will do my best to make sure that a giant snake doesn't wrap around you and squeeze you so much that you feel like you're gonna pop like a pimple.
Okay.
All right, we'll cut over to Hannah, Alex, and the professor arriving at the guard station. You guys get there. There's a couple of guards outside, just kind of meandering. They're obviously changing shifts and posts and things like that. The door to the guard station is obviously closed currently.
Well, let's get on with it.
And the professor will saddle up and start walking straight for him.
Gentlemen, we're here about some business with the sheriff.
Business.
Alex.
Oh, go ahead, Alex.
Oh, Alex is gonna hang back with Hannah.
Business with the sheriff?
He is expecting us.
And you are...
He knows. Go
So we're
on and
just-
give him a description of me. He'll know exactly who you're talking about. The professor.
So one of them stands just in front of you, arms crossed. The other one takes like a couple steps backwards, still keeping eyes on you. Puts a hand on the door and just kind of leans in. You hear some kind of talking back and forth, and then he opens the door wide and turns back to you. And he looks kind of past you towards Hannah. You're supposed to have a lady with you. I'm assuming that's her.
Yep, that's the lady.
All right. He is expecting you, so please. And he kind of turns to the side and holds a hand toward the door.
Thank you very much, sir. Gonna be a beautiful day today.
And I'll duck in the door. I'll go under his arm.
Hannah?
And I walks in. Sorry, yeah, Hannah walks in.
And what about Alex?
Alex follows Hannah.
All right. So you lot get in. The guard closes the door behind you. The sheriff is inside, and he's standing. He's standing like arms crossed, looking into the holding cell, which still has the battered up guard sleeping on the cot. And when the door closes, he turns around and looks the three of you over, focusing mostly on the professor and on Hannah. Well, it's that time already, it looks like. I'm assuming that you're ready to go. You're here just to drop off your licenses and be on your way.
Yes, here.
Yes. And just for my purposes, retrieval of said licenses, what's that gonna look like? Are they gonna let us in at the gate? Are you gonna come out to greet us?
I will not be coming out to greet you. You will be able to come in just fine. The garden takes in all manner of rabble, of course. And once you are inside, I would recommend making your way here as soon as possible. I am available at all times.
Great, and we'll have some champagne to celebrate.
Only if you are providing.
But you will have a glass.
Sure, fair enough. If you will have champagne, I will have glasses waiting. Just remember, if you cannot find what you are looking for, I would not recommend coming back.
Oh, don't worry about it. I know exactly where we should start looking.
Sure.
Is there anything else, Sheriff, for me?
Well, and he kind of leans to the side past you two and looks at Alex in the door. That one meandered in right behind you. I'm assuming you know who he is.
Yes, and I'm sure you know who he is as well. He has been helping me in my shop. The judge even met him. He will be helping me on this adventure.
Alex holds out his wrist with the bracelet, like the other two held out their licenses. Like, all right, you can take this too.
I don't think I'll be needing that, and with that, I am assuming that you do not have a license.
Me? A license? Fuck no.
A charmer as well. You will fit right in, just as I've been told. Now, if we have nothing else, I have a busy day ahead of me. The judge is departing this evening as well. Not that you will be here, it sounds like.
Indeed. Goodbye.
And he turns around as you are all leaving, unless somebody's not leaving.
Nope, I leave. I bow to him as I leave, like a tip the hat that I don't have.
Very nice. All right. And you all make your way to the gate. Justice is about to be raised, and you see Minerva and Darian and the doctor speaking. It looks like Darian's probably holding a piece of paper just as you all approach.
Yeah, so if we go and stay in this general vicinity, when we get there, I'll probably be able to pinpoint exactly where the safe house is. I may have been in the future, or someone told me. That's why it's a little bit smudged. My hands get a little sweaty every once in a while, and I kind of wipe it on the map, and, things happen. But somewhere around there is a safe house. That's the case in point of what I've been talking about the last 20 minutes.
The police station should be here, and she points to the map.
Perfect, thank you, and I'll mark it on the map.
You have a map, Darian. That's incredibly useful.
Yeah, one guy, he left it laying out, so I took a big piece of paper, and another piece of paper, another piece of paper, and I kind of doodled on it because he was drunk at spills, and I was like, I'm just going to keep copying it. And as I've been around, I've kind of made notes in, like, subway tunnels. Like, I really don't like going near the subway tunnels, and I just kind of try and avoid as much as possible. Like, look at her, and I pull out another map and go, look, like this is from where we went down and found the salt, just in case we ever need to go back again.
That's smart, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like to do
good.
smart things, Alex.
Cool.
Okay, so I can catch anyone else up as we're going, but is everyone fine? Are we all ready to leave?
Ready.
And like it was a story being told from the best perspective, just as that is said, the gate rises, and a couple other people who have kind of gathered on the other side, they go ahead and exit, and you all are able to leave the garden together. So we're headed towards the Lower East Side, and as it's been pointed out, it's about a half day's trek to get down that far on foot at a safe pace. The sun has crested the horizon, like it's above the horizon, but because of the buildings and stuff that still exist, it is what's the word I'm looking for? Still kind of that like morning twilight. There's some clouds in the sky, and the sun is kind of shielded by a bunch of the buildings that still stand. So it's still a little dark. Cool wind kind of brushes through the streets as you guys get to the surface. There's nobody else really out. The other group that left right before you, they turned the opposite direction from the way that you turned. So moving along, any kind of discussion that you're having and whatnot, let's get some rolls in here for any encounters that happen. I'm just going to go left to right with what I've got right here. So Dylan, you're going to set the pace. We're going to be trying to roll high across the board. So let's get a D100. Just stay above a 10. Hey, look at that. Graham, you'll be next. Stay above a 15 with a D100. Beautiful. Minerva, stay above a 20. Very good. Dr. Jeff, just the doctor, stay above a 25.
Can someone roll for me? I'm peeing.
Oh, I got you, buddy. Don't you worry. Oh, I'm going to let Alex do it. Look at that. So Alex rolled the first time at a 63, trying to stay above a 25. Alex, your actual roll is above a 30. Ooh, a 7. Not above a 30. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple of blocks in. All right, so as the sun is getting up over the buildings, it's pretty bright, burned off a bunch of the clouds. You've been going for a few hours now south through the city. Alex, give me a D10. All right. If production is there, would love to be able to see the map so I can throw some visuals up. So we'll see if that happens. If not, you lot will be able to see it, and I might have to overlay some. So it looks like you will be able to see it on the stream and in the YouTube. Yeah, here we go. So walking through, you see down the street, 20, 30 yards down the street in front of you, walking in the direction that you're coming from. Let's change this to boom. So you see this monstrosity of a man with a man in front of him. So this guy that's walking, you see him first. He stands out very well, covered head to toe in different protective gear. He's actually got a large, probably a sword on his back. You can see the hilt and the handle coming off. You see the scabbard down below, hanging off of his back, and he's also not dragging, but like lazily swinging a morning star next to him as they walk. In front of him, like one pace in front and one to the right, just a little diagonal, is a man in like a black turtleneck, long sleeves, black slacks, has some combat boots on just because they're better for traveling. And he has a metal stylized like headband that looks like a crown of thorns almost. So it's like stylized in thorned nature. It's not piercing his skin at all. But he is obviously the leader of the two. And he has a large torch in his hand that he holds up a little higher as he approaches. Definitely not needed with it being so bright out. But they approach, and he calls out to the group as they're 15 or so yards away. "Hail, travelers! Rest, sup with us."
Oh god, are these the victory guys again?
Afraid we can't right now. It's you see, we've already all eaten.
What's up with you? I don't know what's up with you. What's up with us?
So as they continue to approach, the torch continues to be held high, and the man, the smaller man, the one that is not wearing a mask, approaches, and he goes into his jacket with his free hand and pulls out, it looks like, as he's holding it, looks like he's got some like MREs, the prepackaged meals. "Please, just a moment of your time while you're traveling. You look weary. You look ready to embrace rest and revelation."
Is there an alley anywhere nearby that cuts off of this fucking road?
I mean, sure, it's there. It's just city blocks. You could easily like dodge down an alley as well. They're 10 yards away, so 30, 40 feet away still.
I'm gonna look at everybody. I really don't want to eat with them.
Oh, but they got food, man. You really think so?
We have a lot of ground to cover.
Oh, but they got those brown plastic things. Those are so good. They got that pink powder shit in them. Have you ever had that?
As you guys are talking, and the rest of the group is kind of looking on, maybe listening / deciding. Hannah, go ahead and give me a perception. Struggling a little bit. You do notice, as well as anybody who has an 11 in passive perception or actively looking around, the man behind the speaker is not clean nor fresh. The end of his mace, no, the end of that morning star has bits of flesh. It is tinged a deep, wet red. There are like blood spatters on his trench coat and the overcoat, and a bit on even the glass in the eyes on the gas mask. You can see bits of like armor. The body is very boxy as they get closer. Still 8 yards out, so like 20, 30 feet still.
Hey, Miss Minerva, do you maybe want to like climb on my back for a moment just in case?
No, I should be fine, thank you. Are you all right there, sir? You seem been in a bit of a scrap.
The speaker kind of pauses for a second and looks back over his shoulder. Your worry is well founded. We have struggled through the night, and yet we persist, much as the strength of the human spirit persists every day. Come! And they continue to slowly move closer. Please, speak with us, but for just a moment.
Yes, see. And then I'm looking back at everyone and I'm motioning, I got this. And then I come back forward and I'm going to speak rapid and very fluent Spanish and start gesturing my arms. I personally cannot speak Spanish, but I'm just speaking rapid fire Spanish at the man to try to set him off guard.
What words are you using? Because I understand Spanish.
He's saying things like, actually, we're coming from a really far away place, and we've got to go someplace way different than the direction that you want, and we're gonna probably go this way very quickly. So I'm saying like, rapido. Yeah, we gotta go that way, and we wish you luck. And there's some people that are very hungry in the opposite direction. So if he doesn't understand Spanish, I'm pointing in one direction while I'm trying to like slowly back away towards a different direction.
The perception, the active perception and the passive. So passive won't let you spot anything. It'll just help you kind of pick stuff out, like areas, but you'll both kind of notice the same thing. About 500 feet behind the group, the speaker and the strong, silent gentleman, there is a tall building. You can't tell which floor the possible sniper is on, but it would be the only one that has vantage from on the street that they came down and at this distance as well. It's the only safe sniper position. It's probably a 12, 16-story building. Actually, you'd be able to tell exactly how tall it is. It's a 15-story building, so anything higher than the 12th floor would be, 12, 13, 14, and 15 would be spectacular positioning for a sniper. In response to the professor, your character speaks Spanish, correct?
Yes, I do. It's one of my fluent languages.
Of course. So the speaker, in very eloquent Spanish, which I do not possess the ability to mimic, but just so we all can understand it. Anybody who understands Spanish in-game will understand what he's saying. Excuse me. So in very eloquent Spanish, he continues.
Shit.
We understand you have traveled far. We understand and we embrace you, no matter who you may be. Please, have a rest with us. Drink of our water. Eat of our meal. We would even impart upon you wine, if only for a moment of your time. And that is all in Spanish.
Now, I'm going to speak broken Russian, because I do not speak Russian as a character or in-game. Me personally and in-game, Professor November doesn't speak Russian. But I'm going to say,
Okay.
No posible! No possible! No possible! And then he's going to go into broken French. Onde está la biblioteca? Je voudrais un petit chien. Je voudrais un momento.
And I'm just starting to back up slowly towards an alley, and then, try to really move a little bit quicker. Like it's getting very obvious that I'm trying to move away from him.
Does anybody speak? If you speak Russian or French, put it into the Roll20 chat for me. Just type out whichever of those languages you speak, or type none, just so I can see what we've got.
I got some with common roots, but no.
Well, Darian would have responded after Professor has his little stroke that I don't understand anything he's saying.
Sure.
Would speak in Spanish back. We only have like maybe a moment to spare, so whatever you need, just let us know, and we can all just go on our way.
They do. He does seem to understand you. He listens more closely to you than he did to the professor. So none of you understand what he says, but you recognize like the sounds. Obviously, you would recognize what Russian sounds like or French sounds like. But he speaks a very eloquent sentence in Russian to Professor November, and then the second set of sentences is in this beautiful, very natural sounding French. As well. Nobody understands anything that is said. The French sounded like it was a question rather than the continued like commentary. And he kind of cocks his head to the side and waits a second or two for the professor to respond.
I'm going to rattle binary numbers at him. I'm like 0111110010110101 1 cinco. No, wait, not cinco. Scratch that. And he speaks English when he says that. And in binary, it actually says, "I'm not interested in what you are selling. I ain't buying." That's what if he knows binary, that's what I rattle out to him.
He does look a bit confused by the rattling off of numbers. They have continued to approach the the professor said he was backing up a couple steps as they were continuing to approach. Was anybody else moving at all?
Hannah will step forward as November starts to essentially break down into binary. Apologize. We apologize for him. He is not quite right sometimes. Look, we do not have the time to sit and discuss. We are on a very short timetable. We would instead like to offer our condolences for our short timetable by offering a gift of food to you. Is that an acceptable trade?
While Hannah is talking, what's Minerva doing?
Minerva is very clearly nervous. Looking around, she is going to finally remember that the last time this happened, someone mentioned snipers, so she wants to try and take a look for them.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception.
Man.
Hannah, before stepping forward, did point out what she saw to Minerva and the doctor. I had put that in RP, or in Roll.
I did see that. I think Minerva was just trying to pinpoint. So you don't get any more information on like where the sniper may or may not be. But with your passive, kind of while Hannah was pointing stuff out to you and you're listening to all this other stuff, as they continued to get closer, there is also a large bag that is like hanging to the side. It's almost like a satchel. It's hanging to the side of the large man. And it is, I mean, it's a large like briefcase satchel almost. It's maybe 3 feet long, like a foot or foot and a half thick, and maybe like a foot and a half to 2 feet like high. So it's like maybe a mail carrier's bag or something like that. It's packed to the brim with something. And the offer of food. Give me a persuasion Hannah. This is in common again, in English. While our meetings are never by happenstance, they are always fated. We also understand the presence of urgency. We graciously accept your own offering for food. We would only ask for a meager donation to the Church of the Word of Victory as well.
Now comprende. Now comprende.
Of course. And I have something, not in dollars, but something more valuable and rare for the Church of Victory. And she takes out 3, essentially. I have them as rations, whatever you want to flavor them as, Matt. I don't know what the common would be. 1 for each of the 3 people in front of her. There's 3, correct? Or just the 2?
Oh, there's just the 2.
Okay, she'll take out 2. And then using one of the small leather bags she had doled out salt, one of the pieces of salt that she wanted to give to Minerva's friend. It's the half cubic foot bag that she has, but she, there's probably maybe, I'm so bad with measurements, maybe 4 ounces of salt or 3 ounces of salt, something like that, to the Church of Victory to make your meal, this gift and donation, all the sweeter. I give you this gift of some small salt we have come by. Please take it in peace.
Salt makes things tangy, Hannah.
It's a metaphor, Darian.
So the speaker has a small just has a small bag like on his back that he puts his own the MREs into that he had pulled out, and then as you hold this stuff out, he steps up. The large man stays back. You can hear the heavy breathing through the respirator of the gas mask, and but no words, obviously. And the speaker steps forward and kind of lowers his head to break eye contact as he holds his hands out for the offering. And then when he takes them, let's see here. Your offering, the same as that which comes from the Dead Sea, the same as that which our Lord, our God, changed the sins of Sodom to. Salt is the most precious. We are humbled by your gift, and we would encourage you, seek us out upon your return from wherever it is you are going, whatever path you are taking. You will always be welcome, your faces never forgotten.
Of course, we will keep that in mind, the gracious welcome you have given us. And she hands it over.
So he'll take them and he looks and he holds them up to the large man and then puts them in his pack. Raises the torch pretty high and does like just a little half circle, and then brings it back down. And
did they open the bag when he puts it in?
The small guy who has the bag on his back, he's the one putting him in. The bag has never closed. It's just like one of those drawstring joggers bags.
Oh, okay.
We do not want to inhibit or take away from your journey. Walk with righteousness and fervor. Remember that we have eyes across the city, mouths that will speak your praises and your salvation, and of course, hands that can dress your wounds. We will leave you to your journey, and please consider us and our offer whenever you have the opportunity.
We will seriously do so.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
we'll take your word for
November.
it that you have a mouth,
November?
although it's hidden behind a mask.
November, please. Not right now.
I'll speak in Spanish. It must be hot in there, sir. You should, air it out a little bit. Certainly, I hope that you're washing the mask on a regular basis.
Alex
Hey,
stands in front of November, and like waves his hand in front of his face, just to like distract him or something.
He says what he's gonna say. Either way, but he's
Alex sticks his finger in November's mouth.
Ugh.
Well, I think we should all be getting a move on. I look at the rest of the party. Agreed. We got places to go. They have places to preach, and we should just probably just mosey on our ways. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Agreed.
The speaker kind of bows his head again, and he looks to the large man, and I mean, you can't see what he does. He doesn't make any sounds. He doesn't say anything. And since his head is turned to you, you can't see if he's mouthing anything like that. The doctor continues to look disinterested and annoyed. The speaker turns back around. Once you have come to peace with yourselves and your journey, remember, never be satisfied with being somewhat religious or safe outwardly, while remaining just as worldly within. Shun such folly. Always keep a clear testimony, as he looks at the professor, and never be solely in league with the world. You must be radical in this, because Christ and Baal and God and the world can never be united. And he gives another bow, and they continue walking to try and pass you.
Hannah steps to the side.
Amen.
I'll step to the side as well. And I'm
Buenos
just
Aires.
glaring daggers at the professor.
Does I just want to make sure that Darian was saying amen out loud.
Yep.
So as they're walking past, so they pass Hannah and Alex and the professor, and when they get to you, he actually stops. Child of God, come, let me bless you. And he holds his hands out like to both sides. He's put the torch away like on his belt, and he's holding his hands out pretty wide on either side of him, looking essentially for permission to touch you.
Darian's face is like very contorted and super uncomfortable, but does not do anything. Looking at the rest of the party, he's like, mm-hmm.
The speaker understands your reluctant acknowledgement, but takes it nonetheless. He takes his thumb and he just licks the end of it, and he pushes it into one of the spikes on his headband, and you can see the blood start to pool up just on the end of his thumb. And he touches your forehead, and just runs like a streak down from the middle of your forehead to the top of your nose. And then he steps back, wipes the blood off of his thumb just on his pants, and he puts his hands like on your shoulders. He has to reach up to do it. He's he's average size, whereas you're quite large. But he puts his hands up on your shoulders, and he just looks dead in your eyes. You lack the wisdom, the full wisdom of God, my child. All you must do is ask for it. He gives willingly and without reproach. If you want to learn of God, spend time with him. And he touches the starting point on your forehead where he has run the blood down. Because you become like those, and he looks at the professor, that you spend time with. Be blessed on your journey, my child, and continue to carry his grace. And he turns and continues to walk.
Darian's just on going, yep, thank you.
What a
As-
strange man.
God damn it, November, shut up.
As they get 10, 15 yards away, the speaker pulls the torch back out. You see him pull a lighter or something to that effect out, maybe a match, but he relights the end of the torch and he holds it high as they continue to walk.
There, now say whatever you want to say, November. Now they can't hear you.
What a weird man.
Yeah, you're not the one with, like, blood on his face, so don't complain too much.
Right, but no, he knows Russian, he knew French, he's fluent in Spanish. The only thing I could trick him with was binary.
Do you have a death wish?
I'm sorry, did I not just completely dissuade that situation and unnerve the man enough to allow him to let us leave us alone?
No, you did not.
That's not how I remember it.
Unbelievable. She's gonna throw her hands up in the air and like storm off down the road.
I'm just happy to be done with it. What a colossal waste of time.
What was all the numbers you were saying? November?
Oh, binary, it's a language.
Oh, all right. What
When you have
what
series
language
of
is it though?
Oh, it is binary. That is the name of the language.
Okay.
Each integer has a value.
Like where's it from?
Everywhere. It is from the universe. It is a universal language.
Sick, dude.
Yes. It is. It is sick.
So you like speak to I don't know, like everybody in that?
That's the hope.
Alright.
Hey, doctor. Sorry, Miss Hannah.
Oh, go ahead, Darren. Let's just move down this way as we talk. And she
Yeah,
points through an
probably.
alley that breaks line of sight with the windows that she had noticed.
When that little tiny man got real close to me, I got a big whiff, and that guy kind of smelled like, when you take a rat and it's dead, and you leave it out on your windowsill just like to kind of cook it with the sun for a while. You come back to it, it smells real bad. That guy kind of smelled like that, and then kind of a little bit like when you burn the rat and the rat's completely cooked and to the point where it's burnt. Kind of like take those two smells, put them on top of each other, kind of smell like that.
My eyes immediately look to the doctor to see if he has any recognition or the same thought that the professor has.
I don't know why you're telling me this.
Well, you said you like interesting things. A guy kind of smells like someone who's been burned alive and kind of smells like he's been out in the sun for a couple of days. Seems interesting. But you just said you like interesting things, but I'm sorry. I told the wrong person, I guess. I'll just leave things like this to myself in the future.
I will clarify. I like things. A smell doesn't help me. I can't put a smell into a potion or a poison.
No,
I need
but
ingredients.
it is interesting.
Ah,
It
sounds
is
like
interesting.
the professor would like to talk to you about.
Yeah, no, this new partnership's going along great. I'm just gonna keep to myself in the future.
No, when you smell a man that smells like rot and death, and yet he's so eloquent in hiding his face.
And I look to the doctor, and then I look at Hannah. See if anybody can register the implications.
So what? So he's like dead and alive at the same time?
Oh, he's been in that suit a real long time. He sweats real bad.
Darren, was this the big man or the small one?
Oh, it was the big man. The small man smelled actually pretty nice, and then smelled a lot of blood when he kind of drew on my face a bit, and he's just like rubbing the blood streak off of his head the best he can.
Hannah cast prestidigitation to get it off your face. Clean
Thank
your
you
face.
kindly.
Yes, November, I see what you're getting at, but we have no idea whether or not they're connected.
No, but it does seem to imply that they may be involved.
I suppose we'll see.
And I was just about to have you guys roll the second half of your encounter table, but it is about 7 minutes until ending time. So we'll allow for travel RP this week. I will mark in the RP section that session 7 has concluded, and you will be able to roleplay any conversations that you have had. It's a total of about a 5 to 6 hour journey. You can have the conversations before the interruption with the speaker and his escort, or just what the conversations are after. Anything in between really is just fine. Let's do some experience and then wrap this bad boy up. Everybody did phenomenal with roleplay this week. There was not any combat that was successfully navigated, so there will be no combat experience this week. Tim, I think you said you listened to the previous campaign, but I have you at 1706 as your total experience before
you did. No, it was at 1581.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, you're at 1581. I apologize. You will be at 1706. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. All right, so everybody gets 125 roleplay experience, and that will bring our totals. Dylan, I have you at 1863.
Okay.
Graham, I have you at 1883.
That's also what I have, thanks to my calculator.
That's right. Emily, I have you at 1829.
That math checks out.
Jeff, I have you at 1801.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim, 1706, like I said.
Yep.
And Allie at 1870.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Alex, Darian, and the professor continued their discussion as we picked up. The doctor struck a deal with Jim to pick up some stuff later. Left some collateral behind, but got himself some oak sap and is hoping to get a moonstone down the road. Alex lost to Grub in the ring. The doctor and the professor discussed the heart, more, and plans for the next day. And Hannah made some ad hoc armor and a weapon for Alex. At the beginning of the day, the group left the garden and came across a victory speaker and his escort, and were able to essentially buy their way out of spending too much time talking with them. And sweet Darian was blessed by the speaker. Darian, you actually have until the sun sets. You can roleplay this as appropriately next week. You feel more energetic, but you have 10 temporary hit points and +1 to attacks and skill checks.
Okay, then.
So you can You can RP the surprise when there's combat, but you can also roleplay like the, is it placebo? I don't believe in getting blessed, do I? Anything that you would like, but you do feel more energetic, more hardy, more robust. So keep that in mind. I'm putting it in my notes here as well. Darian was blessed. So next week is the week of April 26th. I don't have anything showing that we have any inhibition to be able to play. If there is, obviously reach out to me during the week. Would love to see some awesome role play and everything. Remember that Rhapsody will continue every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Brought to you, of course, by inkedgaming.com. Use code TRS12 at checkout to get 12% off your entire purchase. When we cut out, you'll hear some nice music that is provided by Max Tunes at taketones.com. And we have been playing Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, on roll20.net. So check out all that. Tell your friends, point them to the VODs or to our YouTube channel. And if you're listening in the future, thank you so much for joining us. Come and hang out on Discord or live with us every Friday. Everybody, go ahead and say bye while production carries us out.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Good
Have a good week.
night. Good morrow.